All right, everybody, welcome to another episode of the Three Count, and we'll be talking today about the shakeup of WWE for 2019. We have Benny here,
Yep, going on.
Giants, and we have the Velveteen Dream over there, Jaquan, exfoliating.
Experience me. Experience me. Mm.
So, gentlemen, we just had the Superstar shakeup for both shows for this year, the call-ups and everything. One thing to start off, Matt, there were no NXT UK call-ups. They said there was going to be, but there weren't any. The one that I heard was the two that were supposed to be the move were, from what I heard, were Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate. Okay, they decided to keep them in NXT UK, which removed the whole international part
Mhm.
about it. What are your thoughts about those two right that right there before we started going into details on Shakeup completely?
Well, as far as Dunn is concerned, I don't have much experience with Tyler Bate. As anybody who knows, my favorite NXT superstar is Pete Dunne. Um, I would have liked to have seen him move over to the main roster, but to be completely honest with you, with his size and his weight, I don't think they would have done anything with him anyway because that's a completely different world as we've seen it, recently. But from what I was hearing today, the reason why they kept the two of them over there is because they want to further establish NXT UK as a solid brand. So they wanted to keep the two of them over there for the time being and have them debut on the main roster at another time, which I ain't got no problem. But it is what.
I get it, I guess. But again, because there hasn't really been much out mountain. But like Pete Dunne, literally there's nothing else for him to do. Like I don't understand the logic of keeping him around. Even if you're gonna further the brand, like what are you gonna do? Put unless you're putting him in a stable, I don't see the point. I really don't. Like there just isn't enough in NXT UK unless you're gonna immediately introduce like a mid card title to do. Because at this point, Pete Dunne without a championship is a waste of Pete Dunne. I'd, if anything, put him back in NXT. Like put him back in the North American Championship or even NXT title situation because they need a little more there too. Because there's Adam Cole, Johnny Gargano. Like there is no main event now with Ricochet and Black gone. There really is no main event. So heck, him and Matt Riddle would be amazing. Like, come on. Just put him there and let Matt Riddle say something about being a bro and let Pete Dunne come in and punch him in his face. You don't need to write a story for that. Like, just have them start swinging on each other and just let it be a bloodbath. No holds barred submission match. I don't know.
All right, let's start with the shakeup. Let's start with Raw, the main show. That's the main show so far right now. So let's start off. The Miz transitions over from SmackDown.
Don't hate
Made
it.
history.
Don't hate it. He's
I
done
mean,
whatever he needed to do over on SmackDown. It is what it is. He actually just went, but the thing is, like, who else is he gonna feud? And I want him as far away from Shane McMahon as possible.
I think this just signals that he's going to be in the Universal title picture. That's all it said to me. Really. I'm like, all right, cool. He's going to be in the main title picture. That's what I want.
I don't think right away though. 'Cause he's
No,
a
I
face.
mean, yeah, like give him one other feud, but right now the only thing you got from him is he attacked Shane. So what is you're gonna have Stephanie coming and be like, you can't do that, man, and have him feud with Joe for the U.S. title. Like that's about all you can really do. Have Joe win the feud, and then have Miz get pissed off and like do something heelish. I guess
Right.
there's not much you can do for him on any show as a face, really.
Speaking of Joe didn't show up on Raw during the shakeup, and it was said later on that he was actually the one who came to Raw during the shakeup.
Oh no, he was there,
He
but
was
he
sick.
was sick. He was backstage the whole time.
Yeah.
So it's like, all right, kind of figured that. It makes sense. Like literally, this is the Jets versus the Giants. Like the Jets have all the flashy small players. The Giants have all the hog mollies. Like they just put all the hog mollies on Raw, which I'm perfectly okay with.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with Joe moving over. Joe was
Stale.
I mean, he's kind of sort of in the same light as the Miz was. Like, who else is he going to feud with? And
Stale.
to be completely honest with you, you needed. I want to see somebody on Raw that's an actual killer. Right? You have a guy in Drew McIntyre that could be a killer. The problem is he keeps getting lumped in with Baron Corbin's little black hole that he has of
The mid card of
talent.
evil.
Yes,
The mid card of evil.
Yes. I
Dun dun dun.
I was hoping that he was going to get drafted over to SmackDown, but that's not a here nor there.
Nah.
Joe needs literally to kill somebody. I mean, not literally kill somebody, but like he needs to be able to kill somebody. He needs to raise Mysterio with as many people as possible.
Actually, I could see that them being the guys to put over Miz. Like I can see Miz feuding with that mid card of evil and like really putting him over as like a main event guy. But it needs to be Baron Corbin to put him over, or Bobby Lashley. It can't be Drew.
Yeah, it can't be Drew. It cannot be Drew.
Like at this point, I feel like Drew as a heel is just in the wrong situation because like him as a heel, he's kind of stuck in the mid card. Even though there are no main event heels. But because he's been tagging with them so much, I guess the only way to break him off is once Dean's gone, now that Roman's gone, you can just have Drew be like, well, I beat up your Shield brothers, now I'm coming after your title. Because I feel like that's the only thing that makes sense to me, because Drew, to me, is the only real logical next opponent for Seth. And I think that's probably why they moved Miz over, because like you have them feud, you have Seth drop it at SummerSlam, which to me just means that SummerSlam is when everyone's going to drop their titles. Like Kofi's going to drop SummerSlam, Seth's going to drop Slam. Whatever tag situation is going to flip flop at least 3 times before SummerSlam. Shayna might drop at SummerSlam so that Shayna can move up. Becky's probably going to drop at SummerSlam if they don't unite the titles. But I think Becky's going to drop at SummerSlam too. I just think SummerSlam's like the benchmark point, because at this point, between now and SummerSlam, there's nothing big enough where a title change would be warranted. Like at this point, you kind of have to establish all your new champions.
Yeah. The only thing that you could actually do between now and SummerSlam is maybe one of the Saudi Arabia show, because that's technically their biggest show now. But,
trash.
I know.
Trash.
But,
that's a house show. I don't even want to hear that. That's a house show.
You know Green
speaks. Can't tell me no different. What? Yeah, you right. Green speaks, so that don't mean anybody got to lose their title. No one has to lose their title at this point.
Look, if that Crown Prince be like, listen, I want some title changes, Vince is going to be like, yes, sir.
I'm going to be like, okay, we're going to introduce the Saudi Arabian Championship, and we're going to do a Royal Rumble and give a giant green belt to Braun again. That's literally, I'm like, okay, so Braun's going to defend his greatest Royal Rumble title. Like, I would be... It's in a trophy case, along with the fake King of the Ring trophies. Matter of fact, they could definitely do a King of the Ring tournament going into Saudi Arabia and have the finals be there. That would be like the biggest match would be the finals of the King of the Ring.
Just have a King of the Ring at the tournament at Saudi Arabia and call it a day.
Down. Yeah. Matter of fact, definitely just have another Worlds Collide tournament. Like we already have a random one. Throw an actual Worlds Collide tournament and just call the pay-per-view Saudi Arabia World Collide. Boom.
Yeah.
Done.
We get to Jaja Vince.
Thank you. Like, just leave all your main people. Like, I literally do an NXT where you just see people in the crowd. Like, that's it. You just see a bunch of guys wrestling. The guys that aren't wrestling, you put them in the crowd, and then you throw a show with a bunch of mid cards and with a couple of interferences.
You can even have the women in there too. Like, just
in
the crowd and call it a day. Okay, going back to this.
That actually ties into the Sasha Banks thing. Before we go back to the Shakeup.
No. We'll get back to Sasha Banks later.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There's too much of that.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Oh my god.
So
it's a lot of juice to that one.
Yeah, Andrade and Zelina Vega. Both
love it. Absolutely love it.
That was a one they got right. That was one of the few they got dead on.
Yeah.
And I'm hearing that this is supposed to lead to a push for Andrade. which
Good.
I'm very happy about.
I'm surprised she got pushed to SmackDown.
There's your other heel that you could actually push to the top too.
Yeah, and apparently Zelina, they're going to pull back on her being a wrestler. They're just going to 100% make her a manager. So basically, she's going to be her and Leo Rush are going to be chilling. They ain't wrestling nobody.
Oh my gosh!
I don't like that.
I think because again, she has a lot of poppy moves, but again, I think it's more she's gonna wrestle within the confines of being a manager and not be like in the women's Royal Rumble or the women's Battle Royal. Like they're not gonna have her as a in-ring competitor as much as they're gonna have her as like the heel manager that can wrestle.
She's like the Puerto Rican Alexa Bliss.
Basically, yeah. Like you know.
And you see,
that's actually not bad.
Pulling back on her like that is if you look at what's left of the Raw Women's division, there's really nothing there.
No.
Yeah, you're right. Just means to me that there's going to be another couple of call-ups. Even though that just signals to me that like a bunch of women who've never been really in the title picture are going to get called up. Like Tatani, whatever her name is, the Brazilian chick, probably going to get called up soon. Yeah, Tanara is probably going to get called up. Aaliyah and what's her face is probably going to get called up. That's probably why they're being featured on TV. Candice LeRae is going to get called up pretty soon. They're just going to give them a little program and they're going to shift them to Raw because they need some juice in the Raw division now, and that's probably what they're going to use to develop the females because Raw's not going to do anything with them. So you can be like, hey, we have a Raw women's division, but don't do anything with them and just throw them in there.
Yeah, I like
problem
it.
solved.
I just don't like the whole. We're gonna keep her as a manager. I think she's pretty good on the mic. I think she's got some good moves. Just don't give her shine.
I don't know if I think the problem is I don't know if you can guarantee that she can actually put on a full match and not get hurt. Because after what happened with Alexa Bliss, I don't think they're gonna invest in sub 5 foot or 5 foot £120 wrestlers because they're too injury prone. And with the way women are doing spots now, they're way too much of a liability, and she's way too good on the mic to run the risk of her getting hurt. Like she's got too much profitability for you to waste her right now, especially when she's so young. And then I feel like maybe they'll go back to it once the 4 horsewomen thing is up and she can actually get a title. But right now, I think it's the right move.
They're gonna call, bro. God dang.
There's only one of them.
They decided to keep Ricochet and Aleister Black on Raw.
This tells me they're gonna get a tag title soon. Really?
Yeah, I would have rather have seen them split up, but it is what it is. I can't do one way or the other because I like them together, but at the same time, I want to see the two of them separate from each other.
I think you gotta. I think that was Triple H. I think that was Triple H that kept them together because at least as a tag team, they can be on TV every week. If you put them as single stars with Vince still in his whole power struggle thing with Shane and all the guys in the back, Ricochet and Black are going to get lost in the shuffle, much like Tyler Breeze is. Much like Tyler Breeze is being completely wasted right now. But this goes back to the whole, we need lower mid-card titles. Still saying, you cannot convince me that there's too many titles, because there's not.
No.
There's just not.
No, I think it's a good move. Like, agreeing with you guys. I'm just wondering how long are they going to keep them together? You know, and my concern also is if they're going to win the tag titles, when are they going to win it? Because you got to remember the Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins just won it at Mania.
Mm-hmm.
So how long are they going to hold it on to? Who are they going to drop it to?
SummerSlam.
Because
I told you everybody's losing their titles at SummerSlam.
AOP is still on Raw,
and they still hurt.
Right?
When are they coming back?
When they come back, if they win the titles, you can't have them just hold it for 6 months. That's a powerful group right there. No matter which way you look at it.
Well, now you have actual rivals for them in the Viking Experience.
Oh,
who?
The Viking Experience.
Yeah. Yeah. So speaking about that one, So the War Raiders were moved up
Yes.
to Raw, and they got a whole repackaged deal for what reason? For what reason? There's like there were comments in there from other wrestlers. I think it was Mick Foley. That no matter what they do, the wrestlers can make it up. But okay, they built their own brand in the indies. And then when they were repackaged in NXT for NXT WWE, it wasn't a bad repackage. They kept everything. The War Raiders was a good name. And now going to the main card again, we spoke about this. No canon there at all. They showed it
Mhm.
with the Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa, where they got called up and they're buddies again. DIY was like reunited, but yet in NXT they're feuding. It makes no sense, and I did it here now. Like a whole different name, a whole new name, and they didn't even come out with the titles. They never lost them. They
Yeah,
still have them.
and they still have the titles, and they're not on NXT TV at the moment. So like,
For what reason? It made no sense. That one was like when I heard the noise, I was like, oh, the War Raiders are here. Let's go. And they hear the Viking Experience. I'm like, wait, huh?
the only thing I can say is that Ro, his first name is Eric. So like, they literally just changed. He's not using his last name; he's using his first name. I'm okay with them changing the name to Eric and Ivar. It sounds idiotic, but Eric is his actual name. Ivar sounds more Viking. Cool. In what world? In what industry is the Viking Experience a good name? Like that sounds like a sorry to say, it sounds like a glimmer gimmick. Like you're gonna talk about women's of wrestling or something. Like that does not sound like a legitimate gimmick to me. Like you can't even sell merch with that. Like that merch is not gonna sell.
It's dumb. People are gonna look for that.
It'll sell by mistake because you'll get those Viking fans from the NFL that won't know what they're talking about, and they'll actually buy it thinking they're talking about their football team. This
Yeah.
is the worst name change I have ever seen. All right,
You you know what's
absolutely.
crazy though?
What's up?
You know what's crazy? What the crazy part is that I actually heard about this. I haven't watched it yet, but on NXT there was a segment where the Street Profits actually said, you know what, we're tired of waiting in the back. We're gonna go knock on some doors, and they go to knock on William Regal's door, and the War Raiders come out with War Raiders merch, a giant War Raiders on their shirt, and they're like, "Oh, it's the Viking Experience." The commentators and Mario Rubio rolled aside. It's like the Viking Experience. Like even Marco Rubio can't get excited about that. But apparently, the Street Profits have a upcoming tag team title match. So I think that's probably where they're going to drop it because there's no way they can retain now. It's not they can't retain and do
No,
double duty.
no. At this
No,
point, just
no,
no,
not
no
at all.
sense. No sense. No sense. All right.
God,
Next
that
up, we
was
have
terrible.
Rey
That
Mysterio.
that literally. I'm sorry. I just got to. That literally ruined the shakeup for me. Like Raw got an F for me for that alone. Like Raw is a straight up F. I don't even care what else happened. Raw is a straight up F for me because you literally took one of the more promising tag teams I think since Legion of Doom. That's how much faith I had in them. They
Yeah.
were the best gimmick for a tag team since Legion of Doom, and you ruined it. You destroyed it. You butchered it. It literally is like this is a guy who got his penis chopped off, and he's no longer a man. And you put him in a whorehouse saying, "Do your thing." What are you doing? Like maybe it's because I've been watching too much Game of Thrones. Like I'm so angry. Right? Like you don't even understand. Like Vince, I don't care if you're a Jack 60-year-old or not. Like we about to knuckle up because you messed that one up for me, and that hurt my soul. Like I'm personally victimized by this one.
Oh.
Okay, I'm done now. I'm done.
Okay. So the next one up is Rey Mysterio. Got moved over.
Don't care.
Not even a
It's
little.
nice to see
Can we
him
move
back
into
on top.
205, please? Can we move from the 205? Like at this point, nah, no funny, like no disrespect, not at all. But like, with the fact that they now got rid of that Raw now has Cedric Alexander full time and he's no longer going to be on 205 Live. I really need some juice in 205 Live, and Rey Mysterio, to me, being the pioneer for that weight class, should definitely get a run in 205. I'm just saying.
Like I said, I really don't care. Like I like seeing Rey Mysterio wrestle because in the times like y'all know how my work schedule is. Tuesday nights I barely can catch night, if at all. So it's hard for me to actually watch Rey Mysterio or watch anything else that goes on SmackDown. I just have to catch highlights and stuff. Now, with him being on Raw, I get to see a guy who was tearing it up back when I was actually growing up watching him. So in that regard, in that respect, it's a good thing. I'll get to see him again. But storyline wise, I don't care.
I don't know, man. I think the concern I had when he came over, he got squashed by Lars Sullivan, which we'll get to later on because apparently he's part of SmackDown. But yeah, we'll get to that one. He got squashed by Lars Sullivan for no reason. But, I mean, I find it interesting that he got over along with Andrade, and then the commentators like, oh, they're going to continue the feud. Like, but why? The feud happened in SmackDown, but there was no ending to the feud. It was just, I think 3-4 matches. Good matches. Not saying they were bad.
I think that's the only reason. Honestly, that's my problem with Rey Mysterio is that he's only had good matches with Andrade. Like, the rest of his matches have been botchy and bad. Like, really, really botchy. Like, you watch them, there's at least 4 botches in every match he's done that he hasn't been wrestling Andrade. Like, even the Lars thing, like, dude slipped. Like, he tried to do the West Coast pop and slipped and almost broke his neck. Like, dude had to catch him and flop for him. Like, that was a Joel Embiid, James Harden level flop too. Like, we were all looking at it like, come on, bro. There ain't no way that he didn't even get a full DDT. Like, you didn't even get a full headlock on a DDT. He just kind of fell on him and dude rolled. Like, come on, bro. He's just. Don't get excited to watch Rey Mysterio. That's all I'm gonna tell you. Don't get excited to watch him unless he's facing Andrade. Don't get excited.
So we're gonna keep the two together, the Usos and Naomi, because obviously they got pulled together because of Naomi and was that Jimmy or Jay's marriage? So they try to keep them together.
Jimmy.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Which I'm okay with. I mean, the Usos did their thing in SmackDown. They had to make the move. So I'm okay with that. Naomi needs to go with Raw. She did her thing on SmackDown. What's she gonna do there?
Again, both need a reset. Both can definitely win titles. And to me, they're gonna have the Usos do what the Usos always do. They're gonna give them a crappy tag division, and they're gonna say, "Hey, make this relevant." And the Usos are gonna make it relevant.
Oh
Yep.
Yep.
And then hopefully
you have a nice little dream match. Basically not brewing, but there for the making. You have the Usos. And you have the War Raiders, not the Viking experience.
My God.
I will keep calling the War Raiders. I don't care if they're called the Viking experience. I don't care.
Seriously, no lie.
The War Raiders.
I want the Usos to, if they do ever face the War Raiders, I want them to bring back their old gimmick, the Samoan Warrior gimmick, just for that match. Because imagine the pop they would get for doing the haka in the beginning, and then you have the War Raiders come out and do their thing in the beginning. You need that to be like the first match of the night because that would get everybody hyped.
Yeah. The other match.
I just want them to bring back the gimmick one time.
The other match you can do too is Ricochet and Aleister Black against the Usos, which would be a good match as well. How you gonna? That's
an NXT. That's an NXT level match for me. You don't need to set it up. That's literally only Larky versus the Undisputed Era. There needs to be no build. Go out there, tear it up. Done. I don't even need a build for that. Like, this is happening, I'm watching it.
The one way I can see this going is if the Usos win the titles and they do like a tag team open invitational, and then you got Aleister Black and Ricochet coming out. Oh, like we're coming up. Let's go. Let's do this.
For those titles, you need that. For those titles, I think that would be the perfect titles right now to do an open challenge.
You have to.
Because you need to build tag team.
Bury that division so bad. There's nothing else you can do. What can you do?
And just don't have the Revival come out, because as much as I like the Revival, they don't have the right kind of tag teams to wrestle with to make them look good. They don't. And it's a terrible thing to say, but like the revival needs to go to SmackDown, really.
They have they can
Because the
put up a good
revival
match with
versus the that's what I'm saying. They can put up a good match against the Usos, but can the Usos afford to take the L right now?
the Usos are one team that can take an L.
Not on Raw right now because they just got to Raw, so they can't afford to like come in, get the big win, and then lose. I can see if it's a feud situation, where you're trying to build for a pay-per-view level match, then you can have them take a couple of L's on Raw. But the payoff of the feud, the Usos would have to win the feud.
Yeah, the Usos are the type that they can take losses because their stock is big, so they can take a couple L's here or there to build a tag team, come back and actually win the titles later on, and it's still credible.
Yeah,
You know, they could take an L here and there, so there's no problem with that. Naomi, I like the move because of the fact that now she's done with everything that she did, whatever she could do on SmackDown. She's won the title.
Yeah,
she's faced everybody there, but she needed something fresh.
I want to see her go up against Alexa Bliss. That's a feud I want to see. Just because I like both of them on the mic, and because Alexa Bliss is literally the epitome of a cheerleader. It's basically Bring It On, the first Bring It On with Reese Witherspoon and Gabrielle Union. Like, that's exactly where my brain went. I was like, yes, give me, like, I need to put her a green and call her a clover. And, like, think about it. Like, she can literally survive Alicia Fox. Like, throw on the freaking things for Alicia Fox and, say whatever it is you need to do to get her walking again and turn Naomi heel. Please. And I'm down for it.
Let's go.
She needs a new gimmick. The glow gimmick is kind of played out now. Like, we're not even into the EDM. Like, we're not in the EDM no more. Like,
but that was anything, so she can carry it into Raw.
My whole thing is, listen, we're starting to listen. Billy Ray Cyrus is doing songs with a dude named Little Nas. Naomi, we need to put her in a country gimmick. Like, let's do this right now. I'm saying, why not? Why not?
I like having them over there. I don't mind Naomi coming with them because at the very least you need to have something helping to bolster the women's division over on the Raw side. And with Naomi being a former champion, maybe this is the reset that she actually needed. Get over on the Raw side, get herself back to becoming the main eventer.
She needs a new gimmick for that. She needs a new gimmick to be a main eventer again. That glow thing was in and out. She needs either she needs a new gear set or she needs a new gimmick. Because the whole spandex thing, she looks like a Meg Carter. Like, she just reminds me that she looks like she deserves to be in like freaking No Way Jose's conga line or something.
Oh man, they're below Baron Corbin's mid card of evil.
They're gonna be in the Mixed Match Challenge. Watch them to take the green team.
Oh yeah.
So going back, we got EC3, which I don't get what's wrong with this guy. I mean,
oh no, they threw him in because Joe was sick. That segment was supposed to be between Joe and Braun to start the U.S. title feud, but Joe couldn't go anywhere, so it was just like, yo, EC3, go out there and get squashed. That's why that happened.
But that's what I'm saying, though. Like, the guy I'm not saying he's not crappy. He doesn't suck. He's not bad. He's decent. You could probably have him as a mid Carter. They're just jobbering like the Brooklyn Brawler.
Listen, this is why I'm saying they need a lower card title because they need him to reestablish himself. He's not a mid card at this point.
Why, Benny? Why?
You know exactly why he's getting jobbed out. You know what EC3 stands for? Ethan Carter III. That is Vince Carter's nephew or whatever. That's his gimmick. When he came from TNA. So they're like, no, man, we're not having that getting put over. We're just going to bury you the entire time. That's the kind of petty nonsense that Vince and these guys do. So I'm not surprised by. I'm upset by it because I would like to see the man get over. But I'm not surprised by it at all. And the fact that he's now on Raw, like because of what they've done to him.
I think he needs a stable, personally. Like, since Uncle Bob is free, you need to put Bobby Roode back in the suit and have him be like a God. Who am I thinking of? I don't want to say Triple H, even though he gives me serious Triple H vibes. But he needs, like, Bobby Roode needs to be like the old Bobby Roode from NXT with the suit and being holier than thou, and that fits right into what EC3 was in NXT. So I think those two guys together could work.
I don't know.
Not to mention they're both the same color, which is like I can't even call it off white. It's like off black or off orange.
I mean,
They're not even gold, bro.
I could probably see it to get somebody with mic skills to work with EC3, because his mic skills are kind of like, they're all right, they're okay, like they're not anything special. I think his more in-ring capability is what gets to get him over, but his mic skills I don't think get him over. But put him with Bobby Roode, who has the mic skills, could probably get him over in a tag team match, in a tag team division.
Because we know for a fact Bobby Roode was in line to be a world champion when he came out of NXT, but he's nowhere close to that now.
No.
Yeah, see, my one thing about putting them together is I wouldn't put them together as a tag team. I would put them together as a faction.
That's what I mean.
Add one or two more people into that to actually, round out the group or whatever, and then I would have them run with that. I don't want Bobby Roode to get thrown into another nothing tag team like he was just in with Chad Gable.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the worst. That made no sense at all. None whatsoever. That was a waste for both those guys, to be honest. I think they gave them the belts to kind of like, all right, we'll get you the tag team. Doesn't sound right, but you'll have the titles. Just to kind of, the caveat, the cherry on top.
Oh, I heard something that has the potential to be so good, but I know they're going to mess it up. I'm hearing they broke up Sanity because they want to create a Sanity Wyatt family hybrid, where the promos that I'm hearing is like the little turkey raptor thing that they're doing, and then they have like the little promo with like Annabelle. It's supposed to be Eric Young and Nikki Cross, and they're supposed to be basically puppets to the puppet master Bray Wyatt.
Yeah, speaking of that, Eric Young went to Raw, leaving Killian Dane on SmackDown and Nikki Cross there, and now Wolf actually transitioned over to NXT UK.
Yeah, to be back with I think the group is named Imperium, and they were apparently, I've heard everyone like lost their ever loving mind because they were basically like the corporates of UK for like the indie scene for a while. And I'm like, okay, this is huge for indie fans, because I'm not an indie guy, but this is like if WWE decided to put the Bullet Club on TV for them. I'm like, okay, this is pretty big stuff.
Yeah, they're trying to build that UK market up, which is fine.
Yeah, I mean, that their first really big faction. So I mean,
I'm just upset that they never did anything with Sanity. In NXT was so good. They come in, they got called up to SmackDown. I was excited. I liked their intro, and then you saw them once. You didn't see them for 6 months. You saw them, and then right before they split them up, they get beat by The Miz.
Like, of all the people in the entire world to squash them, they chose The Miz, who they're basically trying to turn into like John Cena, low key.
Yeah, I never got that one, man. That's a whole Nexus chick all over again. Like, they killed them right there. I was like, ugh, made no sense at all.
Yeah, I was absolutely not happy with how Sanity was treated up on the main roster. And especially if you listen to anybody who actually does this professionally. Sanity's gimmick is legitimately go cause chaos.
Mm-hmm.
If that isn't the easiest thing in the world to write, I don't know what is. And they still did absolutely nothing with it. So as
You
far as
know
I'm
that
concerned, this gets an A+ for me just because of the fact they give them something to do.
I think it's more WWE wasn't happy with the members of Sanity, not the like they love the gimmick, but the members were always the problem because Eric Young being the leader, Eric Young is not even in the B list. He's a C list WWE star, even though he's maybe a B list indie star. So and nobody knew who Alexander Wolf was, and Alexander Wolf still looks very much like a developmental kind of guy. The only real person with star potential in that whole group was Killian Dane and Nikki Cross, and I think that was the problem.
Yeah, but
So
here's the thing though.
they needed to blow it up to rebuild it.
But here's the thing. Okay, you have Killian Dane and Nikki Cross. You didn't even pull up Nikki Cross. You had Killian Dane, Eric Young, and Alexander Wolf. Okay, if the problem is Wolf and Young, okay, build them up slowly. Start them off slowly. But again, Vince does not want to build anything. He wants it either ready to go or you're going to just be squashed or whatever. He doesn't want to build
Yeah.
it. It makes no sense. It was a good faction. It was actually I like the faction. It was a good way to start the faction all over again. You had three, cause chaos. You have the whole. I would have liked to see them in a match with New Day. Is what I wanted.
Yeah, that would have been a great rivalry because they're actually polar opposites.
Yeah, yeah. You have them being crazy, and you have New Day just cracking jokes. What's not? What can go wrong? Oh wait, WWE creative team, Vince McMahon. That's what can
There
go
you
wrong.
go.
Not to mention the body types kind of match would have matched perfectly. The styles and the body, like Biggie and Killian Dane, that has 5-star potential in me.
Yeah,
Not to mention, I wonder if they're even going to repackage Killian Dane at this point.
they're gonna have to. What's he gonna do by himself?
Again, that's why it doesn't make sense because again, the only time I see Nikki Cross is I see Nikki Cross on Twitter. Nikki Cross and Becky are my two favorite Twitter follows because Nikki Cross is literally Nikki Cross is still cutting promos on Shelton Benjamin right now. Like that's how real it is right now. And it's not like the promos are trash. Like she's getting full on production budget to cut promos on Shelton Benjamin. Like hey, bro, like I don't understand it, but
You got to think how much they're paying Shelton Benjamin. They got to do something with him because
true. he's got a paycheck. Like literally, if they were gonna do an intergender match, like I want to see Nikki Cross get super kicked and still be laughing.
But see, here's the thing. Like, I like Shelton Benjamin, and they're treating him so bad. I'm like, come on, man. Why? The guy.
They have so many missed opportunities with that man.
I know. It's because he's black.
Listen, bro.
Like, listen, we have one black man at the top. That's enough. No more.
Oh,
Right? And you're lucky
Oh
you got that.
no. That's what I'm saying. We can't get too many. We can't get too many Negroes out here, bro.
man.
They gonna start thinking that Vince McMahon done sold out. That's the problem. They gonna start thinking Vince done sold out.
Here's the problem. They're like, oh well, we don't know if he can sell. We don't know if he can carry. Well, geez, look who you gave the belt to. You gave the belt to the Miz before he was even anywhere close to what he is now.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't ready for that, and you gave it to him.
Nope.
Like who else did you gave Zack Ryder a belt? Like after years, even though if it was a one and only, you gave him the IC belt. All right. Who else did you put? All right. Put it this way: you put the belt on Brock Lesnar, part timer, and made the belt MIA.
Yeah.
How
worse can you get than that?
You know what? I'm actually gonna stop blaming creative because if you can make Road Dogg quit, and Road Dogg seems to be the most easygoing, hardworking guy, I put this fully on Vince because Vince literally does rewrites for both shows the day of.
Yes, yeah.
And you can tell when it's a rewrite because guys really don't know what they're doing. Like the wrestlers I give a lot of respect for because they can do it on the fly and they make it work on the fly. But you can tell when a storyline has been fully thought out, fully talked about, fully rehearsed, and put on to perfection. Because then you get the Becky Lynch Ronda Rousey thing early, like the way it was early on. That's what you get. You get that kind of magic. You get even Triple H Batista wasn't a bad build. It was just it was a lot of camera. Like I'm gonna look into the camera and I'm gonna threaten you. But we ain't even gonna go into that. But like Vince is like, oh no, I don't like this. I'm gonna have Elias go out here and play me a song. Like, listen, bro, if you want people to play you a song, go to a retirement home. None of that.
So Lacey Evans has been going to Lacey Evans now. She's on Raw, and apparently she's getting her push.
Charlotte Light. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
Charlotte Light.
And then going with that one, the way they're building it with Natalya, can we please have her not use that again? Being the best.
Can we change Natalya's gimmick? Can we get IG Natalya, please? Like IG Natalya is bad. IG Natalya can get it. Whatever that is on TV, that little rat kitty hybrid thing that's on TV, cancel it. It's done. It's over. She's not Brett. She's not her father. And if you're gonna do that, give her a faction.
Yeah.
She's not like you're not gonna have her have the same success Brett had because Brett is actually intimidating. Like Brett has a little bit of street in him. Natalya is the most prim and proper lady of ladies. Like they should have given her the prissy little lady or the Emelina gimmick.
The Lacey
because she can pull it. Yeah, like she can't do what Brett did. She's not like to me the next Bret Hart is Shayna Baszler. Like Shayna Baszler gives me more Bret Hart vibes than Natalya does. Like, come on, man. Stop trying to make her Bret Hart. Just stop. God, like it's terrible and it's disrespectful to Bret. Even though he doesn't see it and he fully supports it. Stop it. Not to mention it makes her look extra Canadian and not in a good way. All right, I'm done. I'm sorry. Or she's the one Canadian person I'm like, ew, get off my TV. But then like I see her on IG and I'm like, yo, blow up my feed, please. Thank you.
Yeah, man. As far as Lacey Evans goes with me, I said it before. Next blonde up. I would like to see what she can do. However, watching that match on Monday, I would very much like to see her practice her finisher a lot more because she almost
What finisher? What finisher? What's her finisher?
Oh, she botched too. She was botching like crazy.
That's her finisher?
I guess.
It looked really cool. Yeah. But like
see the way she landed, bro.
Yeah, no. She it looked like she almost missed that and then ended up kneeing like Natalya in her face or something like that.
Yeah, that was all spins and knees right to the chest. I was like, no.
Yeah, I'm telling you, she's gonna need a mammogram after that.
She needed to stay on NXT.
Yeah.
I mean, they pulled her off for no reason. No reason.
Tell me her gimmick would work so much better if it was on NXT UK.
I'll just see that.
I don't know. I can't really say. I haven't watched UK, so I really can't say.
No, I'm not saying in terms of the style of UK. I'm saying the American person, like Cassius Ohno right now is on NXT UK killing it. Just from being the American guy that's like, you guys are this child, like just making fun of the Brits. Mm-hmm. It makes sense. Oh, and then so she's coming in as the Southern. Yes, you carry her as like the Southern Belle.
No. I'm saying I was gonna say he carried the persona he put out when he started his career with Matt Riddle. He carried over that to NXT UK.
Yeah, that's how they moved him, which makes sense.
I like that persona they gave him right there. I like that.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's him or what, but I like that. Like it's a heel, but I like it. It gives him something different than before.
I feel like Lacey Evans should have gone to NXT UK. Like her versus Jenny would have been a great match just in terms of promos in general.
But the botches.
It's NXT UK. Let them botch all they want to. I don't care if she tears her ACL in the ring. Like I'm not watching it.
Wow.
I don't care. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I still see NXT UK and even to a degree NXT as a developmental brand. So if they mess up, I don't care.
Yeah.
But if you're in front of 60,000 people when all the lights are on Raw and SmackDown, like the Raw and SmackDown have been the epitome of like, okay, we made it. She ain't there yet. Just because she's a blonde ex-Marine, that's why she's there.
Mm-hmm.
You want to talk about white privilege? Good God Almighty! Like at least with Charlotte, you can say her dad is Ric Flair and she's trained well, and she's actually one of the best wrestlers in the company. Period. As much as I despise her for getting pushed the way she does, at least I can say she can wrestle any style. She can make any match look good, and she makes all of her opponents look either strong or weak, whichever you need her to. I can't say that about Lacey. It looks like she's never wrestled a day in her life, and it's terrible. She looks like a baby giraffe trying to walk and then getting speared by a Libra. Like, dude, stop. Like, just, oh God.
Wow.
Makes me so angry. Like,
I hope Lacey Evans doesn't watch this.
I don't care if she does. Come at me, bro. Come at me, bro. Like, I'm sorry. And it's not her fault. That's my thing. She's just green. It's the same way, Ronda Rousey literally looked like a giraffe that had just got, like, she looked like a baby deer when she first came out and started doing her moves. Because literally, she had no stability. Everything she threw looked like, she's throwing a punch and her shoulders shaking the whole time. It looked bad. It looked terrible. It was only when Ronda Rousey, like the last 2 months or so, Ronda Rousey actually looked like she knew what she was doing. Somewhat. And she still had 7 botches a freaking match. But it was down from 12. So I will give her the credit.
Yeah. Let's just go over it real quick because I know Paul's getting ready to move on to the very next thing. Let me just go over this one thing real quick with Lacey Evans. They need to not insinuate in the middle of a women's revolution that this chick went back in the title. Did you not hear that promo that she put out there on Monday?
I didn't. You kind of broke up a little bit. I didn't hear what you said.
I said that they need to make sure that whenever they're scripting this girl's promos, either they let her do her own or they script it so that it doesn't come off as she went out there and sucked her way into a title match.
Yeah, her promo was horrible. It
that
made no
was
sense.
Terrible.
It made no sense at all.
Now I know what she was saying. She said she used her influence. That's not the image. That's not the message you want to get across when you're trying to push all of this equality when it comes to your female superstars versus your male superstars. You cannot have another female superstar going out there talking about she slept her way to the top. Come on.
Not to mention, isn't that Mandy Rose's gimmick? But isn't that Mandy Rose's gimmick? Like, who? How many women are we gonna have with this gimmick? First, Alexa Bliss is low key a porn star. And then Mandy Rose is literally trying to sleep with other people's husbands. Now you got Lacey Evans basically saying, listen, no, I never said I was complaining. I never said this was a bad thing. Okay, let me preface this by saying, do more. But if we're going to keep it real, we're going to say we're in a women's evolution where women are getting over by their merits and not by their assets. Mm-hmm. Then we need to stop with these gimmicks of I'm a still your man. That's why you need to fight me.
Yep.
I got nice boobs and I'm blonde and I sucked Vince off. And whatever the other one was, I don't even remember the other person we were talking about. But like, just stop. Like, it's not making sense.
It's like I said before, the whole women's evolution is just a gimmick of theirs that they're putting a facade for everybody to see. But if you look deep down into what they do, it's not much. Let's go back. Cedric Alexander made the move from 205 to the main roster. I like it, but he's gonna get squashed apparently so far because they don't respect those guys too much, which is sad because he's a good wrestler. He could put on good matches.
European champion. That's all I'm saying. European champion.
Benny.
Or no,
Why not?
hardcore champion, because we can't do a European champion because we already have a UK championship, so we can't do a European championship.
Yeah.
That's why.
And it also goes back to Quan's network title too. You can do that one.
Yeah, thank you. Give me an internet title. Give me a WWE network title, please, God, please.
So we have last one is AJ Styles.
It needed to happen. It needed to happen. He did everything he could on SmackDown.
That's another duh. Like, that's another, like, okay, we get it, but I was hoping for a heel AJ, honestly.
I thought it was funny when he came out that he shaved. I was like, what? I was like, what was that about? Man, I thought
it was funny when Seth and Roman were trying so hard to sit up there and make it seem like, yeah, we don't know who our partner is and all this other stuff. And then the door just opened in the back. He just hat and he turned around and ran back in. I was like, how do you watch that? Like,
I don't know.
That was one of those where it was just like, okay, once I actually turned, I didn't even watch the last match. I actually turned off Raw. So I'm like, okay, I already know who this is. They're not going to do anything else. Turned it off.
Yep.
Because to me, the entire episode was ruined by the Viking experience. That's all I'm going to say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I thought it was a good move. I like it. We'll see where they go with that. I want to see the matches they put for him. But he, like you were all saying, he did what he did in SmackDown. It was the house that AJ Styles built. There's no more left for him to do. What was there left? Who was there left in place? So let's go to the SmackDown roster. So because Samoa
Clearly
Joe
they won. Clearly
Raw,
they won. That's all I'm going to say. Clearly SmackDown won. SmackDown, thank God, you finally got a dub. Like, you got a clear and decisive W. If anybody's going to argue that Raw got the better shake, you are literally just a hater. You are you are not a wrestling fan. You are a hog molly lover. Like, you are just like that guy that says that Kofi Kingston needs to take steroids because you have no eye for talent at all whatsoever. Okay, continue. I'm sorry.
So they moved the titles, the mid-card titles, or the secondary titles. So Finn Balor's over on SmackDown, which I like. I like the feuds that are going to come out of there. I mean, I don't know what else to say. I mean, actually,
Finn looks like
he needed to change. He needed to change because Raw was screwing him completely.
Terrible.
Completely. Vince was killing him over there. So I think it works out for him. It works out for Raw. It works out for the belt because now you got the IC belt that actually is not trash like the US title. Going on SmackDown, that means something more than the US title. So I like this move in all aspects of it.
Yep.
What's even better is that Finn no longer looks small. That to me is the best thing. Is that he can now wrestle in a different style because the guys are either his size or smaller than him. Because he's around 200 bills. Now you're gonna have a good amount of guys that are sub 200, that are about 5'11", and you can even tell he's doing more of a kick you in the face, aggressive. Like, he's the ground game guy now. Like, he's the guy that's gonna beat you on the ground. He's not gonna go to the ropes. And the matches look better that way. Not to mention, now you have potential for him to actually be a heel. And it works. Just please give him back the black trunks. That blue gear is stupid. You look stupid. He looks like a Smurf. He looks like a Smurf. Like, come on. You can't have me do the Demon King and have such an epic Demon King moment for him to go black looking like, Nipsey's Irish cousin from Dublin. Stop it. Give him his black trunks. Put some flames on it. Make him Baby Kane. I don't care. Just stop with the colorful behind trunks. I hate it. Hate it. I can't take him seriously. Especially when he throws on a blue jacket to match. He looks like a blue Power Ranger. He literally looks like he's supposed to be Billy from the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Stop. Stop.
Oh, just wait until the next time the demon comes out and he has blue paint on.
Watch him do that. You spoke it into existence. Thanks, Benny.
You know it's coming, man. You know it's coming. He can't come out there.
No, because he did something like that in the Indies where he did like a a demon Sherlock Holmes, like Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde thing, where he did the blue demon and it looks sick. The problem is that they only have one demon gimmick. Where when he was in the Indies, every time he did the demon gimmick, it was a different. It was like Johnny Gargano, where it was a different homage to like monster movies. Like he would do like a Frankenstein one, he would do the Demon King, he would do Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, like all his old indie stuff. Let this man have full autonomy over the demon, please and thank you. Stop trying to. Vince's creative control issues are pissing me off because he's screwing up a lot of stuff. This must be a rant podcast because Vince just pissed me off this week. Vince royally pissed me off this week. Starting with the freaking Viking experience. I'm not going to get over this.
The next one, we got Apollo Crews make the move, which I like because he needed to change scenery. Just like Finn Balor, a small guy, so he's no longer that much little anymore. You know, he's got his height a little taller than him. So I like the move. I hope it helps his career, like kind of a little resurrection, a kick, a little boost. I like it. I can't wait to see him in a couple more matches and see what they build with him. You know, he's no longer
him the IC title.
He's no longer green like when he was called up. Like he's got his stuff. He's not botching like he used to anymore.
Now you just need to put. Honestly, I feel like he would have been a better fit for the New Day than Kevin Owens, even though Kevin Owens is by far the funnier. That is a hilarious mix because he's the whitest. He's so white, he's Canadian. So it works. But I would love to see Apollo Crews kind of join, like be like the Roderick Strong for that threesome and kind of give them a little bit extra, especially with Big E out. Because he needs to be in a faction. He can't, unless you're just going to completely redo his gimmick, turn him heel, and just do something with him. Like I can't just have like, yeah, Apollo and smile everywhere doing this. I can't. No, you like he's an athletic Bobby Lashley, and it's like it doesn't work because neither of those guys use power moves. It just give black wrestlers a chance. That's all I'm saying. Give black wrestlers a chance. Jesus. Like we got the WWE title, and I'm okay with that. But like, you got other black talent in the company too. Like, you gotta let them be them, and you gotta let them be weird. Like Xavier Woods can't be the one outlier where he literally likes My Little Pony, and we're all okay with this. Other guys have got to have something. Like there's got to be more. Like I can't deal with this. Like every black guy is either a smiley little slave boy, or he's a big black scary guy. Like, come on, man. Come on with the archetypes, please.
Yeah, as far as Cruz goes, I don't have too much to say. I like seeing him on. I like seeing him on SmackDown now. Like the potential that you have for matches and matchups is there. You know, it just has to be brought to fruition. It's the same thing, same type of idea that I have with Finn Balor. You have potential for matchups with guys. Well, not Cruz, but with Balor, you have that potential for Balor versus Nakamura if you actually want to make that happen. Now you have a guy like Randy Orton that could go out there and see if he can get something out of Apollo. How are we going to build these guys up? We can't just have them floating around doing nothing. SmackDown is the show for the athletes. You got an athletic dude
Apollo Crews.
Like,
Apollo Crews versus Buddy Murphy. Book it.
Somebody's going to die in that match.
Yeah.
That's why I want to see it. That's exactly why I want to see it.
Speaking of Buddy Murphy, they shift him over to SmackDown. Which I like it.
He can gain 10 pounds again. Praise baby Jesus. He can gain 10 pounds.
No, they can actually use the correct weight scale to take his correct weight.
Thank you. I mean, he's gonna lose his abs. The only sad part is he's gonna lose his abs. We all know this. He's gonna get a little doughy now because he's gonna go up to like 225.
I just thought it was funny because they put him on SmackDown instead of Raw. Alexa. I won't put me off guard.
Because the thing is,
play on Raw. Like,
nope.
Raw's losing to the Giants. He ain't getting no play over there.
Yeah, not even that. Their whole style is just. He is small. He's like 5'11". He's tiny. Him and Apollo was around the same size. in terms of height.
I don't know. I don't see him that small though. That short.
Because literally he was around a bunch of midgets for like the last year. He was the biggest guy on 205 Live because he was like 204.9 and like taller than everybody else. That's why he don't look small. But like he's short. Like if you watch the promo between him and Velveteen is a solid 6'2". Buddy Murphy just barely grazes his shoulders. Like him and Dolph Ziggler have a very similar body type, except Buddy Murphy's bulkier.
Man, you're making me feel short because I'm 5'10", 5'11". Now you're making me feel short.
I'm 5'11". Like I understand. Listen, I went to school and I feel like I was on Raw. Like Braun Strowman looked regular to me, bro. Like that's how many tall people I've seen. Braun Strowman looked regular.
Yeah.
But like him and Apollo Crews, I think is a good first feud for the both of them. We all know Apollo's gonna lose, but at least it's a good feud.
Yeah.
And like that to me, I want to see what he can do with Apollo to know really if Buddy can be the next IC champion, because I feel like he very much could be the next guy, because I feel like him and Finn could really do some damage. And if you put the title on Buddy Murphy, because there are a lot more faces that are mid cards, then you have then you can have like the rematch between him and Mustafa Ali, which was a blockbuster that no one saw. You know, you have him and Apollo, you have him and I don't even remember who the rest of the mid card for SmackDown is. I just know it's a bunch of little guys.
I'm all for it. I'm 100% all for it. Like I said, Buddy Murphy was putting on a lot of, I don't want to call them classics, but he was putting on a lot of very, very, very good matches, albeit on the pre-show. Very, very, very good matches leading up into these pay-per-views. Because then, like I said, 205 is in the same vein as SmackDown it is with me. I don't ever get a chance to watch it. But, you know, you sit up there and you see him out there performing on your fast lanes and your elimination chambers at your WrestleManias and stuff like that. And you get, you know, to see him out there actually being this athletic monster going out there, you know, with like the way he and the number of the other stars that were out there are actually flowing moves into each other. It's a style that, you know, you don't get to really see on the main roster. So now that that's actually coming to the main roster, I'm actually really excited. So like I said, I want to see him. I want to say, I love the way SmackDown actually got their superstar shakeup, since we can't call it a draft. I love the way SmackDown actually got their roster together. That's one of the biggest reasons right there.
Yeah.
Not to mention, he's gotten so much better as a promo guy, and his gimmick of being what is it, like he's the best kept secret. His gimmick, like you can put on a suit and a V-neck and just have him cut promos. Phenomenal.
Yeah.
Like, and I think Sami Zayn is still a free agent. I'm not even sure if he's on Raw completely or not. I don't know what the whole Sami Zayn thing,
I don't know, man.
This situation is. But I mean, even like, imagine a Buddy Murphy, you know, promo off. Blockbuster. Because then, look, you still got Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens can switch between the mid card and the main card until you're ready to put the title on him.
And face
and he
heel.
Works. And you, like I'm saying, he can go face or heel at this point and really build up a lot of those guys, because I feel like he fits in that same vein, and it makes it feel like the mid card feels a lot more important for me in SmackDown right now. Like the main event scene is big, but the mid card feels so much more important now, because a lot of the mid card guys have potential to be main event guys because Kofi's a champion, and they're along the same vein. Like Kofi's like 215, 220. So I feel like Finn Balor being the champion works, because Finn Balor, if he loses the title, then Finn Balor goes up to the main card.
Yep.
Kofi versus Finn Balor is juicy.
Yeah. Now, another one they got moved over and they broke up the tag team was Chad Gable. Chad Gable is now on Raw, which I like.
Another guy, great. You just gotta give him. You gotta give him a steady gimmick. Like, what is he gonna be? Like, you don't need him to be the Olympian. Like, you don't need to put him you can put him in some tights or something. Like he reminds me a lot of Johnny Knight. What's his name? John Morrison. He reminds me of a shorter John Morrison in terms of his charisma. I'm not talking about his style. I'm talking about the way you can use him, because now you've seen he can be cocky. He can be a jerk. And that's kind of what you need him to be. You need him to be that guy that's kind of like him, and Buddy Murphy should be very similar in terms of gimmick. But because both of those guys can do, like Chad can go from face or heel, but because they match up size-wise, you can really put Chad Gable in the mid-card and you can highlight him. Not to mention, dude is stupid strong.
Yeah.
Like ridiculously strong. So I feel like, you can do something with him, but you got to give him a real gimmick. And it can't be Kurt Angle. Like, it can't be Kurt Angle, Dolph Ziggler hybrid. Yeah. Jesus, give this man a super kick and just make him Dolph Ziggler, for Christ's sake. Like, come on.
Like, my thing with Gable, it's good to see him, breaking out. Like I said, I don't like to see random tag teams get thrown together like Gable and Roode were. What I would like to see, or what I would have liked to see, if you weren't going to do Cena Angle, you do Gable Angle at WrestleMania. You give Chad Gable the rub of actually retiring Kurt Angle from as one actual physical wrestler to another. You give him that rub rather than somebody who goes out there and then gets jobbed out the very next night to that very same Kurt Angle.
Yeah, that made no sense at all. That ruined everything.
But like I said, I don't have much to say on Chad Gable because Chad Gable.
Show me something. Show me something. That's all I'm gonna say. Show me something.
No, I like it, but the thing is now, what are they gonna do? They have to build on him coming back. They have to build on him and Shelton having a little bit of a feud because they were a tag team, which I didn't get at all. But they have to make a feud between them both. Not off the rip, but it needs to come sooner or later while it's still fresh in the minds. Like Shelton, like, oh, so now you want to come back here? Oh, so that you have fun. Something. Rip on him for something. Let Shelton be Shelton and rip on him.
Didn't Shelton Benjamin low-key get moved to Raw too?
Not that I know if he's on the list being moved over.
Well, no, because he was I don't remember, but wasn't he like in that little feud for a hot second with Miz and Shane, and then I seen him again in like a random segment for Raw.
Yeah, with the Kurt Angle.
Yeah. But he showed up for Kurt Angle.
Yeah, but no, he's
so like I don't know what he's doing.
No, he's on SmackDown.
He showed up for Seth Rollins. That's what that was. He showed up.
Oh yeah.
For no reason, and then he was back on SmackDown.
Yeah, he's still on SmackDown. I'm looking at the roster. He's still on SmackDown. Yeah, I don't. That's what I'm saying. But yeah, so Chad going to SmackDown is fine. I have no problem. I think he'll fit nicely in there. He always fit nicely. I never understood why they moved him to Raw. I like him going back to SmackDown. That's where he should be at. I mean, I'm good with that one.
I just think they really need to go back to all those backstage promos that they used to do when they used to start feuds with the backstage promos, since they don't have Talking Smack anymore. Mm-hmm. Because like there's either the matches aren't long enough, or there's too much dead space in between matches where something should be going on, and you have too many stars for that. Especially now, you have a loaded middle card. They need to really like have some kind of tournament. They need to jockey. Since they're resetting, you might as well just have a tournament for both titles so that there can be a number one contender situation and break off feuds from that.
Well, you got to remember, October is when they shift over to Fox. So they have to build up SmackDown quick and get the ratings up before that.
That's why you need a tournament.
So it's going to be interesting what they do. They may change the format, something like what you're saying, to get rid of dead air, because Fox paid a lot of money for them. So they need to start getting their ratings up higher than what they are now.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if not Kingdom, but at some point you're going to have Ronda Rousey show up on SmackDown. As well as the two of them, him and Vince decide they want to make up.
Well, I don't think Brock is going, but these next two names, we'll throw Elias before we get into the next two names, which I think are the moves to help SmackDown raise their ratings. Elias was moved over, which it is what it is. Unfortunately, they don't give him that much time. All he does is just he's there to sing and
Get interrupted.
troll the fans, get them pissed off, and get emotions out of them. That's what I see Elias out of him. You know, um, so it is what it is. But going to the two names. I mean, unless you guys got anything else to say about Elias,
Facts.
Not
getting
really.
moved over.
Facts.
I don't care.
So the two names in the men's division that were moved over to me to get the ratings up are Lars Sullivan and Roman Reigns.
Yep.
Roman because of who he is and how they skyrocketed before, and Lars because he's a big name, he's a big character. He's gonna be the big man in that show. He's the big man. And
Low key, I feel like Lars is picking up the Legend Killer gimmick. Because look
I
at
see it.
what he's done since he's come back. And the only people he's attacked since he's come back.
I see it.
He's a Legend Killer.
I see it. Somebody actually likened it to him going out there killing everybody from the Ruthless Aggression era. Like that's what he's targeting.
Yeah. And then lo and behold, who's the one person that he's gonna end up running into that he's not gonna be able to get right away?
Roman.
It's gonna Randy. His first feud, just from the way that they're setting it up, his first feud is probably gonna be Randy Orton.
That's
They'd
bad.
have to turn one of them though.
That's bad though. That's bad. That's a.
I mean, I don't feel like
they can't do it right off the bat though.
No, it's a
no. I don't think that they're gonna do it like, oh, his first like big feud is gonna be Randy Orton. It's gonna be one of the other legends like R-Truth, but because he's going after legends, they're gonna drop the Legend Killer moniker at some point. Like someone's gonna liken him to Randy Orton's reign going after the legends. Randy Orton, and we all know Randy Orton is gonna do. You don't need two guys to be faces for that. With that kind of gimmick, it's more of like, I'm just here to take from all these old guys and retire them. And Randy Orton's like, well, I'm old, but you forget who I am. I'm the Legend Killer. He's like, nah, bro, you're the legend. Freak accident. Boom. That starts the feud right there.
Yeah.
And they just literally, you can end that in like a street fight where you just let Randy be Randy and let him rub Lars whenever. Just as long as Randy doesn't throw a temper tantrum and start calling people stupid, we're okay.
And that's the problem. That's the problem. Lars is gonna. Lars hasn't gotten into a match in over a year in some time now. I can't remember his last time.
Yeah.
So
I think the last match he had was against Velveteen.
When was that?
That was
last year.
That was last year, like maybe in June, I want to say.
No. When did they start hyping him up for the main card?
When he got called up?
Well, Lars Sullivan, he started getting hyped just before they came out with the first set of NXT call-ups.
That was January. January?
Yeah, it was
December.
just before that because the original plan before he had the anxiety attack was for him to take John Cena out of the Royal Rumble. So it had to be around December, January when he started getting hyped.
Yeah.
So his last match had to be like sometime in like late November then, because even on NXT he wasn't having matches. He was just having run-ins.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he was having squash matches and he was doing run-ins. Like he hasn't really had a legit, like his style is very much a Big Show versus, a Braun Strowman. Like Braun Strowman has matches. Big Show just
let's say he hasn't gotten into a ring 4 to 5 months. That's a lot of time off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to get into a feud with Randy right off the rip, you're gonna have an issue, and that boy will bury you. He did it to Kofi.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
will bury him. So I think it's a good idea. I just don't think it should be done now.
And you keep him.
But I don't know. I don't know if the thing you're also talking about 20-something-year-old Randy versus damn near 40 Randy. Like there's two different people.
Yeah, I think they need to build Lars more. A short feud with R-Truth is needed. Squash him. Go on to the next one. Make it another
There's not.
squash if you want.
That's what I'm saying. There's no other legends on SmackDown unless he literally just beats up on the Hardys, and it's one of those 2-on-1 feuds. Like
it doesn't have to be a legend. I mean, you can have that gimmick.
It has to be an older guy though.
You can have that storyline, but I don't think you need to focus on that too much.
Yeah. You can have him try to attack Carmella at this point.
Yeah, you can have him go after somebody that's not a legend. Be like, okay, well, you'll do for now.
Yeah.
So you don't focus on what he's trying to do, but he has something in there.
Here's a question, and it might come off as a little mean spirited, but can Edge take a bump?
No.
No.
All right. Because if Edge was actually able to take a bump, I would have been like, all right, have Edge come back for like an Edge appreciation night or something like that. Or come out there and have him and Christian basically, talking
Christian
about
like,
shows and stuff on the network or whatever. And then you have Lars Sullivan come out and just destroy the two of them.
Christian can take a bump.
If Christian go ahead.
I was going to say, if Edge could still take a bump, then yeah, but you don't want to have him standing out there looking stupid either.
Well, going off of that one, though, I like that idea because if, like what Joaquin's saying is right, if Christian could take a bump, you can have them both together. Lars comes out, he destroys Christian. He's about to go to Edge, and that's how you start a feud with whoever you want to start a feud with. They come out and Edge. You can start a way. So I like that idea, buddy. I like that idea. That's good. That works. That works for Lars. You can do that way. You can have it that way, and you can. That's the like, you'll do for now feud right now.
Hell, you could start up the John Cena feud like that if you wanted to.
Yeah, that's true.
I want him to come back as a Dr. Thugonomics. I'm sorry. I want him to do that. I want him to stick with that. And he's like, this is a heel turn. The thing that got me, he's like, you're in the middle of a heel turn. I'm like, wait, so he's announcing that he's doing a heel turn now. Like, this is the level of I don't care. That we're not even trying to keep the veil of like reality. We just completely pulled the curtain, and this is just complete kayfabe. Where it's like, I'm doing this because I'm turning heel, and I'm keeping it this way. Cool. But apparently he did that so that he didn't have to take his hat off anymore because people kept clowning on his hair.
Yeah, but if you're gonna get to a match, you're gonna have to take the hat off.
He could bring back the bucket hat.
He go out there and wrestle like Kurt Angle did after he lost his hair.
Oh man! So the Roman Reigns move was good. It was a good move to bring a big name on there. So that's pretty much it. And he needed to change scenery. He needed to change scenery. He's gone through everybody on Raw. He needed to change scenery.
That was the perfect way to bring him out too, in my opinion.
Oh yeah.
His first feud is him punching Vince in the face. Like, okay, if that's not screw the system Roman, where I heard a lot of rumors of he's at a point now where he can go to them and like, listen, I want to be more Joey than Roman. And I'm like, okay, cool. He can do more Joe, and Joe is very much proud Samoan. He's kind of like a Rock Rikishi hybrid in that way, where he's not as good as The Rock, and he reminds me a lot more of Rikishi. But it's kind of like what they did with the Usos when the Usos were just like, screw it, we're going to put ourselves into these characters, and they got over that way. I think that's kind of what's going to happen with Roman. They just need to kill this whole tactical military thing that they're doing with like his gear. He needs a little revamp of like his gear or whatever, because that's very like Roman Shield kind of thing, and they need to do something different with that.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion. Give him a little Samoan flair. I don't know.
What do you think, Benny?
Like I said, it was needed. I can't sit up here and I can't knock it one way or the other. I'm just like, it is what it is. We knew it was going to happen once they started, sitting up there saying, "Oh, well, we're going to announce the biggest draft number, or the biggest, shake-up in SmackDown history." You knew this was going to happen, right? Yeah. And like I said, they had to get him away from Seth Rollins because the moment Seth Rollins won that title, you started hearing murmurings of when is Roman going to be the one that actually takes it from him? When are the two of them going to face off? I wouldn't have minded, face versus face between the two of them, but I wouldn't want to sit up there and have, the entire shadow of Roman Reigns Seth Rollins' Universal title reign. I wouldn't. I don't want that. So it's a good thing that he got moved off of Raw and put over on SmackDown.
Yeah. The one match I want to see him in is Shelton Benjamin.
Oh yeah.
I would like.
I feel like that. I mean, if you're gonna do it, it'll probably be a random setup for a different feud because Shelton Benjamin doesn't have the clout anymore to start a feud like that.
No,
unless it's like he breaks a promo and it's like, oh, this isn't your yard, this isn't Raw, you can't just do whatever it is you want to do, kind of thing.
Yeah,
and it'll be like a quick SmackDown match, but like
it's a good way to build them up too because they buried him bad. So it's a good way to build him up. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I like it. I see the aspects of it, finances, the reason why for the whole Fox Sports thing. But that's pretty much what it was. And then now we have Heavy Machinery that made the move over as well.
Great move. Move.
They finally decided to put him on a brand instead of this whole, here and there. So I like it. It solidifies the tag team after moving the Usos out of there.
Yeah, it basically, and it allows for them to build up a new tag team because there aren't a lot of tag teams on SmackDown. Because I don't consider the Bar a tag team. I'm sorry, I still don't. I don't like it. I never liked it. I never will like it. That's just me. I think Sheamus is out with a concussion right now anyway, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But can we talk about the best part of the Superstar Shakeup?
Hold on.
SmackDown got the best, I think, overall women's division shakeup I've ever seen.
Yes.
There you go.
We got the thickness.
That's why
SmackDown got the thickness twins. I'm so hype about this.
This is why I didn't mention the women's because I wanted to get to them at the end because they pretty much solidified the women's division, made it stronger. I didn't think it was possible, but I think their division.
Oh my lord!
So much better than Raw.
I mean, not even that.
We're talking about
we got the thickness twins. The thickness twins, and then you add that to Mandy Rose. Yes, God, I'm staying glued in. This is like going to like high school and you find out all your teachers is fine. I'm 100% going. I'm watching every women's match. Like every match is going to be dope. Even I'm just waiting for them to split up Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville because Sonya Deville to me, you change her music and you give her a legitimate like bad girl gimmick. She's a champion. She's a champion.
She can rock.
She's basically she's a Shayna Baszler light, which isn't a bad thing. But like this whole plus she's got the little like raspy like deep voice. She can actually beat people up and not just do that whole pull my hair up and square up crap. Like that's so dumb. Like I get it's to sell merch, but like stop. It's cheesy. Stop it.
I like the Ember move. It was good.
Oh.
She was lost in the shuffle on Raw. They never did anything with her. And when she came out, and then Asuka came out with Kairi Sane, everybody's waiting for that Ember Moon Asuka. Like, let's go.
Get me the rematch. Get me the rematch.
Everybody's waiting for that one.
I don't care. You don't even need a title for that. Ember Moon can literally just call her. I was like, listen, we got some unfinished business. I'm not going to take a lot of time. Asuka, get out here.
You can do it as number one contenders match for Becky.
Don't tease me with them good things, bro. Don't tease me with them good things, bro.
So I mean, you have that. You have Kairi Sane. That's a good.
You got the fatal 4-way. You got a fatal 4-way right there. You got Asuka, Ember Moon, Bayley, and Kairi Sane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That threw me off.
I feel like you need to have a 6-person elimination though. Like you have like a mini elimination chamber situation because you still got Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville. Like I think that the possibilities are endless. Like this is just it's so like I don't even know where you can go with this, and I don't know how you can mess this up. but I really hope they don't figure out how to mess this up because this is just too good. And then you still have the Iconics jumping around.
Vince.
And then you still have the Iconics like jumping back and forth. Peyton was smart though. She went blonde. Peyton was smart. Peyton went blonde. She understands how the game works. She understands how the game works. I respect it.
I was about to say, you saw what happened as soon as she went blonde. They won the tag title, so
they won the tag titles. They're getting over. They're actually in matches. Like, whoo, what?
Yeah. The one move that kind of was shocking was Liv Morgan get split up from the Riot Squad.
It's so hard to say goodbye to yesterday.
Like,
that
honestly,
was an idiotic move. That was retarded on so many levels.
If you're gonna split that one, okay, but I don't think it should have been Liv that should have left. It should have been Sarah Logan.
Sarah Logan. Yep.
Yeah, it should have been Sarah Logan that would have left. And I don't know. I'm concerned about this because I think she may get buried with all the talents there. I think she may get lost to the shuffle. That's the only concern I have.
I think
she's the greenest one out of all three of those.
She is, but I also think that if she with Liv Morgan, it's you because she was obviously the least talented out of the three. She's always had the most blockbuster potential of all three because she has that little Harley Quinn look. Like she has that she has that it factor that if she can figure out how to harness it, and she can almost be the Alexa Bliss, but not annoying. Because she'll always she screams Harley Quinn to me. Like you give her like a full on she loses her mind, paints her face, does her hair a little different. She's Harley Quinn, and I love it. But then you can also kind of have her do the actual version of Carmella, because we all know Carmella's from Boston. Just we don't want to talk about it. Liv is actually from Jersey and actually can be a Jersey girl. Throw a snapback on her, and that's a different gimmick right there.
I wonder if they'll do that.
I don't know. I don't know what. I feel like Liv Morgan should just attack Carmella.
Because you got to think, what's her gimmick now? She's no longer part of the Riot Squad. So what's her gimmick going to be?
She doesn't have one.
She's got to get repackaged.
Yeah.
So she's
got to do. She's got to do something. Probably not. Or she's going to show up in random tag matches.
Or she'll show up with her current Riot Squad gimmick until they figure out what to do with her.
Mm-hmm. I mean, unless they're gonna do a Bullet Club situation where the Riot Squad doesn't actually die, it's just Liv Morgan goes to SmackDown and starts another Riot Squad, which would be idiotic to do, but they could still do it.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to see them do that.
Only reason why I say that is because of the only reason why I say that is because of the gimmick, because of the promo that Ruby Riott did after their live event, where she kept saying that we're not breaking up, this is not goodbye, this is see you later, and it's not the Riot Squad breaking up, it's the Riot Squad expanding. And I'm like, I keep seeing it. I keep seeing that phrase a lot. So it makes me believe that they may not completely kill the Riot Squad thing, but just go in a different direction and not completely repackage Liv. And just based on how they came out with the news, because they came out basically with the news with Liv Morgan showing up on Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose's YouTube channel for the Donuts. That's how they announced her moving. That came out and I saw the timestamp. That came out before they put it on the website. Because literally it's her walking around. They're like, oh my God, Liv, what are you doing here? She's like, oh, I guess I'm on SmackDown now, blah, blah, blah. And it was almost like she cut a little mini promo when that happened. And they talk about how back in NXT, she was the third wheel to Sonya and Mandy, which to me, that makes sense to put her with Sonya and Mandy, because Paige can't be with them anymore. So you can almost bring back Absolution if you wanted to, and just have Sonya or Mandy be the face of that group, and just have Liv be the third wheel. If you just want to do something with Liv, but she's still too green to wrestle on her own, you do it that way. Because a part of the problem, I think, is you're right. She may still be too green. You don't want her to be the Apollo Crews of the women's division. Doesn't make sense. So, I mean, you can put her with Absolution and redo Absolution if you wanted to. Especially because, like, Absolution comes out right as Paige is about to announce Kairi Sane and Asuka, saying that, oh, Absolution isn't getting back together kind of thing. Like, oh, no, we're here, but we're not here for you kind of, like, the fact that they're throwing out those little hints, maybe it's just me fishing a little too much, but I feel like that they can use that. Because Kairi Sane and Asuka with Paige makes no sense.
Well, that's a mic. They need somebody to speak to them for them.
If they're gonna have a mic, can we do someone that's not British, please? Because I feel like if you're gonna do the whole British thing, then she should be in NXT UK. Because it translates better because right now she looks like the white girl that just is kind of friends with the Asian chicks because it makes her look cool. Like she does, like Leo Rush and Bobby Lashley makes sense because their personalities play off of each other. She makes no sense with them. She's still dressing like the general manager. She doesn't even look like she doesn't look like a wrestling manager. She looks like a corporate manager. Like you kind of got to repackage Paige in that case too, because it just looks weird to me. It doesn't, something about it just doesn't feel right.
Yeah. Man. What do you think, Benny?
Oh, we need to go and get Gail Kim. Gail Kim makes more sense to me.
She's not coming back.
Not happening.
Nope.
It's not. It's
Ever.
not. But imagine though, like that would be. Tell me that wouldn't be awesome though. Tell me that wouldn't make a lot. It would make a lot more sense, wouldn't it?
It would.
It would, but that bridge has been burned. It has been rebuilt, set on fire again, and then thrown into the pits of hell.
Basically.
That is how Gail Kim and the WWE are from each other.
Yeah,
now,
it's both WWE's fault.
Yeah, absolutely.
100%.
They had her sitting up there jobbing out to the Divas division.
Yeah.
I'm sitting up here and I'm looking at the way like the SmackDown Women's Division has been built up, and every complaint that I had about how the Raw Women's Division is not a complaint. It is a standing ovation for SmackDown, because you have from top to bottom star power. You have flat out star power from top to bottom on SmackDown, and you have added in names like Ember Moon, who was doing her thing on Raw, but the injury kind of sidelined her, and the fact that it was the year of Ronda Rousey. There wasn't really anything. There wasn't too much that she could have actually done. But while she was out, she was absolutely impressive. Then you have Liv Morgan, who honestly, in my opinion, should have been Sarah Logan. But at the same time, like I said, what's done is done. All right, she's over there. She's on her own now. She's gonna have to make the most.
I'm also hearing that they're gonna try to put her with the War Raiders, which makes sense because if you look at her look is becoming more and more Viking. So her being like the third, I guess, kind of component to that War Raiders group, because I refuse to call them by their other name, makes sense.
I would like it. And then the last one, who is going to help me segue into my other point, Bayley. Woo. Thank God you have gotten her away from Alexa Bliss. Because from what I understand with that whole other situation, one of the other reasons why Sasha Banks is not on TV anymore is because Alexa Bliss was supposed to go over in a 2-on-1 handicap match against Sasha and Bayley. You saw how the match went the night after WrestleMania. where Bailey went out there and she had this real quick. She was real aggressive with it. It looked like she was that kind of sort of shooting, but still went out there and did the job or whatever. I'm just like that's a situation that needed to be separated, and I'm glad it was. Give Bailey a fresh start if you're not going to have Boston Hug together. Give her a fresh start, get her away from Bliss, and have her in a situation where she can actually go over there and thrive. The SmackDown Women's Division right now is looking stacked, and I love it.
And please, God, don't put her in a tag team with Ember Moon.
No,
Do not make them a
No.
tag team. Stop it.
Yeah, no.
And please, okay, was it just me or did Bailey kind of seem a little like she's teetering on a heel turn? Like she seemed a little, and I'm like, this needs to happen. We need to do this. And I understand that Bailey sells merch. I get it. The Bailey gimmick sells merch. But for the love of God, can we get a little bit of Pam? Can we drop the ponytail and give me some Pam? Because Pam walks around in a leather jacket and some jeans and wants to fight people.
Mm-hmm.
Pam walks around, don't say much, and we'll level somebody's, punch somebody's teeth in right quick. Can we just have like all the heel women walk around in leather jackets because it just makes them look better. It makes it believable to me. Like think about it. When Charlotte was with Dana, all she wore when she wasn't wrestling was a top, some jeans, and a leather jacket, and people drooled over her. Sasha Banks comes out in a sparkly bedazzled jacket back in NXT, and she was one of the most feared skinny women on the face of the planet. She was literally that Spanish girl from the block that always fought everybody, but she was the smallest person in the world. Mm-hmm. Put a leather jacket on one of these women, and literally they immediately become heels. Just saying. It works. It works. Yeah. It doesn't work for Finn, but it works for everybody else.
Yeah, the Bailey needed to happen, and I think it's gonna be interesting to see what happens with Sasha now. Let's talk about Sasha now, since they made this move. Now, all these rumors about
Laquan, what did you do?
I just happened to give her some advice, telling her they need to stop treating her like she's she literally seems like the Black Cinderella stepchild from the old throwback Brandy movie.
Mm-hmm.
Of Cinderella. Like literally she's the horsewoman that everyone forgot. Like I don't even remember how good Sasha Banks is because literally whatever matches she's in, she botches. And it's never her fault. It's literally because someone else's timing is off. And it's when she's doing a move, so she always looks like she's about to die or like fracture her back. And then for some reason it's like she lost the ability to cut a promo because she's a face.
Yeah.
And the one thing that they will not give Sasha, and that's the one thing that she needs, they will not give her a heel turn. She needs to be a heel for her boss character to work. Mm-hmm. It doesn't work if she's a face. It works for a little while because, every girl wants to be a bad chick and blah, 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 blah. But it's gone on for too long. Mm-hmm. Let her be angry at the WWE. Let her blame the WWE universe and all the women in the back. Make this anger of her losing her love for wrestling, make it a gimmick. Give her a mic and tell her to tell the truth.
Pipe bomb.
Thank you. Yep. Give her that because that's how she gets over. That's how everyone wants to call her, oh, she's entitled, she's whiny, oh, you were the first ever women's tag team champion. Well, according to rumors, quote unquote, they were supposed to go to Saudi Arabia and defend those titles. And that's what they were promised when they won the titles. And that's why they were upset because that got scrapped. And that's why they lost the titles.
Yeah, that loss at Mania made no sense at all. Like, if you wanted them to lose Iconics down the road, okay, cool. But you had them win it at Fastlane. You have the first women's tag team, which is a good one. It's the Boston Hug Connection. It's fine. It's good. It's a good tag team. You have them hold the titles just for a month. The inaugural belts for the women's tag team for 1 month only. This is why I'm saying that the whole women's revolution thing is a gimmick and people don't catch it. Because now this title is right off the rip, it's a potato title. Hot potato. Mm-hmm. You can't. You have to build these belts right off the rip, and you're not going to build anything if you only have them with the ones that won it for 1 month, and the one that the team that won it is they weren't even built right.
The
Now,
only way that this works is if they do what they did with the UK title, because everyone forgets that Pete Dunne was not the first champion. Everyone assumes Pete Dunne has just been champion for the longest,
No,
but he actually beat Tyler Bates, and Tyler Bates had it for like a month.
yeah, and the only reason they took it from him was because there was something they wanted to schedule him for something, and he said no, and that's like, all right, fine, then we'll take the belt off of you, and that's why I took it off of him because he said no to something they wanted him to do.
It's such
now
a Vince move. It's ridiculous.
the crazy part when it comes to these tag team titles, I was, while I was at work, not working, I was well, it's Easter. There was no PM shift. All we were doing were truck swaps. Like, it is what it is. Like, I was doing some
Fair
research
enough.
in the middle. If you remember correctly, the rumors started dropping about the women's tag team titles around summer last year. And then the leaks came out with the coin plates, like, the actual men's tag titles and how they look or whatever. Their initial plan was for them to actually drop at SummerSlam. But because of the fact that those photos had leaked out and the WWE wasn't happy with the fan response to it, they decided, okay, we're going to push it back to Evolution. That would have been the perfect spot to debut those belts, but they scrapped it. I don't know what the reason was that they scrapped it, but they scrapped it. You had the perfect opportunity to do it right then. They held it off. They held it off. They held it off. Elimination Chamber rolls around. That's when you debut the belts. All right. 49 days later, those champions lose their belts in a fatal four-way to a team that came absolutely out of nowhere.
Not only that, but Bailey took the pin.
Yep.
That's the worst part of it to me, is that the champions actually took the pin. If they never lost it on their own, I could understand them dropping the title, because then that gives the Iconics a feud immediately after. And it gives Sasha and Bailey something to do, because they would have a legitimate claim like Ronda Rousey does. But the fact that they lost not only clean, but Bailey took the pin, completely screwed them.
Yep.
Completely. And it makes me really not care about the tag titles, the women's tag titles, honestly. Yeah. Because there's no women's tag team. Like, your next challenger is going to be Asuka and Kairi Sane, managed by Paige, and Paige can't even really take a bump, so it's not interesting. What? That's dumb.
Yeah. And there's two other things about that team or whatever. Not to get too far off of the Sasha thing, but if you look at Asuka and Kairi Sane, first of all, the two of them were just thrown together. Kairi Sane is already in a tag team, and Asuka is a singles competitor, right? Number two, if I remember correctly, those two actually hate each other. So,
wait,
like,
in real life,
really,
if I remember correctly, the two of them actually don't like each other. So I don't know where this team came from.
It was probably because they didn't want to call up Io Shirai yet.
I mean, it's possible.
And if that's the case, just don't make this team.
Yep.
Don't make the team. You just blew the chance, because we were all counting on, like, the Sky Pirates are coming out, both of them. And then when you heard Asuka, you're like, okay, what the hell is this now? It just ruined everything. So let's digress back to the Sasha issue now. Now here's and you said it too. And here's the funny thing: you mentioned her title reigns and how short they were, and how bad they were. And then I'm hearing everybody else mention it.
Before the Elimination Chamber. Did I not say? I said, watch them give it to Sasha, but she's gonna lose it at the next major pay-per-view. And I said I wouldn't even be surprised if she lost to that Mania. I called it because this is literally what they do. This is what they do to her. And it's like, it's crime time all over. It's crime time all over again. I think anybody who has an ethnic gimmick, they're never gonna let them be champions. They're not. They're just not.
In her case, it's more than just being or not being champion. Since 2017, when Sasha lost her last women's championship to Alexa Bliss, her 8-day championship reign, the last feud that she had was with Bliss up until she won the tag titles with Bayley. You had this start-stop feud with Bayley or whatever that they ended up in counseling with and then turned into a tag team, which went absolutely nowhere. Ended up being called the worst feud of the year for 2018 by Wrestling Observer. All right. Then,
rightfully so.
if you look at what they were doing on Raw, another part of my, me working and not working today, Sasha alone faced the Riot Squad 17 times in 2018. Some type of combination of that. Bayley faced the Riot Squad without Sasha 15 times on her own. That right there tells you that creative doesn't know what to do with the two. It's like,
as a
okay,
face, no.
we have to sit up here and we have to have Ronda Rousey up on this pedestal, all right? But we can't put any of the other horsewomen up there to actually have her face them because we don't want to take the belt off of her until Mania. So you have these two sitting up here in limbo. But while they're in limbo, they're also still getting screwed over. Since Sasha Banks debuted on the main roster in 2015, her pay-per-view record under 500, but she's a horsewoman. I sat up here and I looked at all of the title reigns. Like I said, I did this mess before when I brought up, the minority championships. But Sasha Banks recognized in her 4 title reigns only 80 days as champion. It's actually 82, but the WWE only recognizes 80. So we're using 80 for this one. Bayley, 1 reign, 75 days. You put the two of them together, that gives you 155 days as champion. Guess who is higher than her? The two of them together.
Alexa Bliss.
Who?
Sable.
Guess who's right behind them?
Here's the thing, though, man.
Guess who's right behind them, though? Stephanie McMahon.
That hurts.
You know what was annoying, though?
Your women's revolution. 2 of your women's revolution. Your 4 horsewomen. The people that your revolution is actually built around. The 2 of them together combined are between Sable and Stephanie McMahon, 2 non-wrestlers. What is that? And then look at Miss Charlotte Flair. 623 combined days as champion.
And Becky had to build herself.
Yep.
Becky had to build herself.
At this point, you might as well turn the horsewomen heel. Like at this point, I'm all for like mixing and matching the horsewomen at this point. Like I don't even feel like Charlotte should be in the horsewomen because she's literally the opposite of what they are.
If you're gonna have a horsewoman, Charlotte's gonna have to turn face. Sasha's gonna have to turn heel. It has to be like a reverse. And they gotta call Sasha back in. But she has to be like the anti-hero. She can't be a complete face.
No.
Sasha's character only works as a heel. It doesn't work as a face. I don't know why they keep trying to push it as a face. I get it. She's very good at what she does in ring. And you want to put that as a face, but you can't.
Merch because they don't want to push they don't want to push heel merch because how many heels do you know sell merch heavy? Miz doesn't. Miz was a great heel, but never sold merch.
And there's the problem because
here's the counter argument to that. Though. How many NWO and DX shirts were sold when the 2 of them were hot?
And they were heels.
That degeneration, that shirt was running wild in my school when I was growing up.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm a 92 baby, and it was big for me. And we didn't even know what was going on when they were big. But they were big in my generation. But my question is, can you have that type of impact with the stable of all women?
Yes.
If you go cool heel, yes. If you go cool heel, absolutely. The problem is when you go heel with with the female wrestlers now, when you go heel, you always have pompous heels. You either have pompous heel or you have coward heel. For whatever reason, because you had and you have the mixture with Alexa Bliss, where she's kind of both. Charlotte is always this pompous heel. She's never just I'm a badass and I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna rip your head off. Right? You don't have a female Samoa Joe type character. Right? The problem is you have that in Sasha Banks, albeit she's small. Sasha can play that role. Sasha has played that role. But for whatever reason, with the revolution and everything like that, they want to push her being like, oh, I'm this pseudo flag bearer where I have to be, everything that the little girls look up to. No, don't do that. That's Bailey. Leave that to Bailey. Let Bailey keep that.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. That was the whole thing. They were like, Sasha was the anti-Bailey.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they ruined it. There was go ahead.
I just feel like if you're gonna do, because I feel like this is the time, because, and I think with Sasha, it's because they're still about this whole anti-bullying thing, which I understand. I get the message we're trying to tell kids, yada yada yada. But at the same time, we need an NWO DX style women's stable. The closest thing to that we have is Shayna Baszler and her horsewomen.
Yep.
But I'm talking like these girls coming out with kendo sticks, beating the crap out of people, spray painting on people the way DX used to. Just straight up. And I don't know if Sasha Banks is the person for that. I maybe it's just the way they've written her now that I don't believe in her being a serious tough guy. And I think because Shayna Baszler has kind of redefined what that is. Mm-hmm. I look at Shayna Baszler as a benchmark, and I feel like if you're ever going to do the horsewomen versus horsewomen, the MMA horsewomen would be the heels in this situation. Even though I don't think they should be anymore. I don't. Because as good as Shayna Baszler is as a heel, Ronda Rousey as a heel makes me want to laugh in her face. It's like watching a slasher movie and expecting me to be scared. It's just funny.
Here's the thing. You have on both sides, you have women that have characters that suited best for either heel or face. Like Sasha's characters are suited best for a heel. Ronda has got to be a face. Like you said, as a heel, she's a joke. But then you have Shayna Baszler, whose character is solely filled as a heel. The other two, I don't know yet. They could probably go either way. I'm not sure yet. So in order if they're gonna have this feud, it's one that where they have to pull, like say Charlotte, Becky, and Bayley are faces, and they pull Sasha, and she comes over as an anti-hero, and she says something like, "All right, I'm here just to help you guys out because of what we've done before.
This is one time only type thing."
Yeah. Once you get through with them, I'm done. And whoever has the belt, she's like, I'll be taking that off of you. You know?
Yeah.
So
I feel like that's the only way that works. Because at this point you can't have, because like Becky right now is the anti-hero.
Mm-hmm.
As much as she's a face, she's still the anti-hero. Because she only is good when she's making fun of someone.
Oh man, I'm sorry. As soon as he said Becky, all I heard was "you little weirdo."
Oh, Ronnie, you little weirdo.
Oh man, but yeah. So all right. So the latest is that Sasha will be back for Money in the Bank, and that she's gonna win it.
That's the latest rumor. I honestly think that is WWE trying to feed stuff out there to try and force Sasha's hand and make her come back. Kind of sort of the same way how those rumors came out about her and Bayley basically quote unquote throwing a temper tantrum outside.
I don't believe that.
In the locker room and then outside their hotel rooms. I don't believe that for a second.
I don't believe that at all.
In fact, you have contradicting pictures from Sasha and Bailey out there celebrating, in the back with the Iconics saying like, "Yay, congratulations, you guys won the championship. We're happy for you," and then being out there for the main event. You have this evidence showing the actual contrary to what the stories are coming out saying. These two were in the back, rolling around on the floor, kicking and screaming, and all this other crap. I don't believe that for a second. That is a smear campaign, if I've ever seen one. On top of the fact that the very next night, or not the very next night, the Superstar Shakeup, when Naomi came out as Bailey's tag partner, you had a line fed to Corey Graves. Corey Graves said if Bailey was looking to upgrade her tag team partner, she did a damn good job. Smear campaign. 100% smear campaign. So like I said, the whole thing with her coming back for Money in the Bank, I'm not entertaining thoughts.
Yeah. So
I think
part of the reason I'm hearing now too is that the time off was because of the whole Alexa Bliss thing. Like it was a lot of stuff that happened in a matter of like 24 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she was like fed up because one, she lost the belt. They lost the tag titles. Then she heard they were splitting them up. So at
Mm-hmm.
the moment she's like, "Oh, you're getting split up," then all right, you're not getting the belts back, obviously. And then to hear, "Oh yeah, you're gonna lose to Alexa Bliss after she hasn't been on TV and had a match in like God knows how long, you're gonna
Yeah,
lose
her
to her."
last time she was in the ring was Royal Rumble.
Yeah,
Wait, no, she was in the ring before Elimination Chamber.
right.
That was it.
Yeah, and you're gonna lose to her.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, I give her all the benefit of that for being pissed. You just lost the tag team titles after you were told that you should have had a longer reign. Then your tag team's getting split up, so you're not even gonna contend again, and then you're gonna lose to somebody that hasn't wrestled in a few months.
Not only lose, but lose in a handicap match, in which you guys have the number.
Yeah, even worse. So and to pour more salt in the wound is to the one person that you don't like,
Yep.
because
Like I
if
said,
go ahead.
being a professional, if I don't like somebody, I'm not going to sit up here and pull a Shawn Michaels versus Hogan. If I was in that position, I wouldn't be doing something like that. You want me to do the job? Fine, I'll do the job. I will bitch and moan and complain to you all I can in the back, but out there in front of the audience, fine, it'll be done. Right? That though was ridiculous. Because you're talking about somebody who, like I said, like you brought up, has not been in the ring because they're trying to treat the little porcelain doll like she can't get hurt or whatever. Granted, you're talking about concussion issues and things like that. But if that's the case, then you need to put her out until she's actually clear, right? You don't have to have her going out there going over on your former tag team champions that just lost their titles. How bad does that make those belts look? Not just Sasha and Bailey.
Hmm. Yep.
Situation
Also,
has all kinds of hot.
this seems very much like when the Revival finally won the tag titles after the rumors came out that they were going to leave for AEW. That's what this feels like for me. Where it's like, we're going to give her the Money in the Bank, but she may not have a successful cash in.
There
Like,
you
that's what
go.
I'm looking at it. That's what I'm looking at
There
it
you
like.
go.
Like, I don't believe you. It's like, it's like the popular girl that's like, oh, I'm going to go to the prom with this guy, but I'm going to dump him as soon as we get to the prom. Like, it's not a win. It's like, oh yeah, she's gonna win the Money in the Bank match. Cool. How long is she gonna keep the Money in the Bank? Yeah. And Baron Corbin, what? Because he got into an argument with someone in the back, which I think is still stupid because he still hasn't recovered from that. Just saying. But Sasha, I think giving her the Money in the Bank and letting her run with that character-wise would work.
But she's a heel.
If she's a heel, again, if she gets it and she gets all headstrong, like the way the old Sasha Banks was, like all about the money, and if she basically becomes a heel Eddie Guerrero, then it works. But only if the cash in is successful. And she actually, maybe she has to prove to Vince that she can actually hold the title and be relevant the same way Becky is right now, because right now, I'm even looking at it like, okay, is Becky going to keep the titles for that long? Because can she be a champion? Because really, they're not. She hasn't wrestled since either. So it's very much a whole like I don't know how much I'm really believing this whole 4 horsewomen thing when 3 of the 4 horsewomen keep getting screwed. And Becky, only reason why Becky hasn't been screwed is because the crowd got behind Becky. And Becky, out of the 4 of them, got screwed the most because she didn't even really get a title reign. And the first time they took the title from her because she couldn't cut a promo.
Oh, that was the accent.
Yeah, it was her accent.
Yeah,
that was literally
again. And again, it was basically because, and her accent hasn't changed much, has it? It hasn't gotten clearer. Nothing about it has changed. It's just the fact that now she's saying, she's not doing this whole cha la la la, I'm a Lucky Charms leprechaun. She's just like, she's literally the wrestling version of Conor McGregor without all the controversy. That's all she's ever done. The whole I'm the man thing, think about it. The whole I'm the man thing is essentially Conor McGregor. If you're really gonna put it in simple terms, it's Conor McGregor. And it works. It 100% works for her. My thing is Sasha being the NXT Sasha versus this Bayley is money.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what the Money in the Bank can deliver. And because she's away from Bayley, it's just like Sasha gets to just be Sasha. If they pull the trigger on it. My fear is I don't believe them no matter how much they built her up, because they're never going to let her be a champion for more than 100 days. They're never going to have her
for 100 days yet. Like,
not even that. Like,
they haven't let her defend the title successfully on a pay-per-view.
Nope.
That's my biggest thing. If she can defend her, like, give me 2 pay-per-views at least. Give me 2. Give me 2. That's all I'm asking for. Is give me, because like I don't even think Kofi's going to retain the next pay-per-view, and I don't even know who he's facing, because I just don't believe WWE believes in black champions. Like, they'll give you one, but they're not going to give you a decent reign.
I think he'll keep it until the wave is gone. The wave is still high for him.
I don't even see the wave being that high to me, honestly. Like, he doesn't get the same reaction he did before.
Exactly. So when they start seeing that reaction come down, the countdown it started.
And I think the problem with that is that he's still, the champion of the people. Like, at least when The Rock was the people's champion, The Rock was calling people out. Like, he was popping off with people. And that's what people want to see in a champion, where it's like, I don't want you to be like, oh, I'm the champion, I'm going to wait for a challenger. It's like, oh, nah, okay, I'm the champion. And that's why Seth Rollins is so successful. Because Seth Rollins literally comes out the next night and was like, okay, this is the championship. I'm the champion. Whoever wants to fight, come get some. Granted, Kofi's not really that guy, but Xavier Woods can do that promo. Like, I get it. They're the unicorns. They're the happy-go-lucky, la, 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 la. But let Kofi be Kofi and let New Day be New Day. Like, you can have them be together and still differentiate the two.
Yeah.
And that's the thing with Kofi.
It's gonna be interesting what they're gonna do with Sasha, though.
If they do anything, because look at Dustin. Dustin disappeared for a few months. Now it was something he's on Double or Nothing. So I feel like you have to look at, does Sasha believe them? Because none of us do. And if Sasha doesn't believe them, then she's gonna essentially pull. She's taking a playbook out of NFL athletes, and she's just gonna hold out until her contract runs out.
She's gonna be the female Neville.
Yep.
That's what it's gonna end up being.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it may have to come to that.
To be completely honest with you, I don't blame her.
I don't, because it's at a point where it's like, I'm at a point now where I'm like, bro, what other cards does she have to play? Because, like, how much more can you continue to screw this woman and say that she doesn't have the potential or she doesn't have it? Because it's clear she does.
I don't get it, especially considering the fact, like I said, you go out here and you promote these 4 horsewomen as much as you do, and then you turn around and 2 of your 4 horsewomen have title reigns less than Carmella. I'm serious.
I know you are. I just find it hilarious because
If you total up, like I said, if you go ahead total up, Sasha 80 days as champion between her 4 women's title reigns. From her women's tag titles is 49 days. That's 129 days, right? She's had titles longer than Bayley, like by a couple of days or whatever. So Bayley falls into this category too. Carmella's 1 women's title reign is 130 days. Who is Carmella?
she's blonde.
joke.
Compared to
No,
Sasha
she's not.
Banks and Bayley.
Not no more.
Well, no, not no more. But when she had the title, she was blonde.
I'm just like, bruh, this whole situation, like, it's not me, so I really shouldn't be getting as riled up about it as I am, but it, like, sincerely and severely pisses me off.
Oh,
because
it does.
You know good and well that these two do not deserve the treatment that they've gotten.
Nope.
And it's not just them. It's just that the two of them are at the forefront. It's not like I'm trying to throw Asuka out the window. I'm not trying to throw, other people like Naomi, who hasn't had the title in God knows how long, out the window. Like, it is what it is. Like, these two are just the ones that are at the forefront right now because they're the ones with the biggest gripe at the moment. Right? I cannot stand looking at somebody who is so talented get so shafted. I can't deal with it, and it's one of the biggest things, my biggest pet peeves. Yeah. Just like when I look at guys like Shelton Benjamin, just like when I look at people before the whole Kofi Kingston wave started up. When I look at Kofi Kingston, like, I don't like when it is that people fall outside of Vince's, his perfect triangle of how a wrestler should look, whether they are male or female, and then they end up getting screwed over because of it.
Yeah.
I understand why you're upset, because I'm equally as upset, because it is the epitome of white privilege. It is the body where it's like saying, like, well, we gave you a chance, you just didn't take advantage of it. It's like, no. It's like it's like if you're gonna give someone a job, but you're gonna make the job the most difficult thing on the face of the planet, where the person that has the same title does half as much and gets 2 times the amount of credit. It's ridiculous. Yeah. Like, at this point, it's repetitive and it's ridiculous, and it's just like, okay, come on, like, really, like, it's one of those things where at some point, when is it enough? When is it enough?
Vince stuck in his ways. Vince is stuck in his ways.
I'm right there with y'all. And my one thing is, I don't want anybody actually listening to sit up here and think like, oh, they're just ragging on certain people because of the fact that, they don't look like them. No, that's not the case. The fact is, as I've stated a bunch of times before, I love watching Charlotte Flair wrestle. I have no problem with Charlotte. The issue that I have is the fact that she's being shoehorned into everything and turning into the female Roman Reigns. Whereas, just as everybody else was trying to sit up here and claim, give the Iconics a chance, somebody else needs a chance, give somebody else a chance up at the top of that card. Sasha Banks and Bayley.
I think too.
It's ridiculous when one person has a combined title reign time as 5 times as much as 2 other people that are supposed to be in their exact same class. That is ridiculous. That makes
makes no sense.
No. And right now they're just killing the whole possibility of the horsewomen with this. Destroying it, because you going into Mania, you had the horsewomen handling 3 of the 4 titles. Or 3 of the 3, pretty much. Both SmackDown, Raw, and Attack Teams. They had 2 of those, 2 of the 3. Right? Now, if they were to retain it, you could have gone the fact that the horsewomen control all the titles.
Mm-hmm.
That makes that stable look strong, no matter what. Even if Charlotte doesn't have a belt. Now, if you want to start a feud with the other horsewomen, all right, cool. It's great. Because you know what? They can select, Oh well, we have all the belts. We have the tag team. We have both SmackDown and the Raw titles. What do you have? Oh, the little NXT belt. But right now, you destroyed the entire thing because now Becky has both belts, and you just played hot potato with the tag team titles. For what reason? To prove that Sasha can't defend the title on a pay-per-view.
Hell, if you want to bring it in there like that, they just hot potatoed the SmackDown Women's title too.
Oh, even worse.
Mm-hmm.
They did that just to put Charlotte in there and to say, oh yeah, because they had nothing to do for Asuka, and they're like, well, we need to put the SmackDown title on there, so let's give it to Charlotte. Well, she did the main event, so we'll do it. We'll unify them all for one. That was dumb. That made no sense at all.
Well, my whole thing is they haven't even technically unified them yet. That's the part that kills me because if you listen to the promos, then you'll notice that the women on SmackDown are like, we're going to go after the SmackDown Women's title. And the women on Raw are saying, we're going to go after the Raw Women's title. So it's not like she's even defending both at the same time.
Yeah,
she's defending one at a time. And I was like, if you're going to do that, then why put both of them on Becky? Yep. Like, I get it. You want more Becky. Then just unify the titles and give Becky the white backdrop because we know that's what she's going to do. Give her the Sonic coin and call it a day.
I was just getting ready to say that there was like little murmurings or whatever that were showing up online saying that Vince doesn't like the fact that Becky's calling herself Becky Two Belts. So that's going to end up causing either her to lose one or for them to actually unify the belts into one.
I hope that for her sake they unify it because I feel like she's doing it on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
she's doing it's the same way like when the Revival won the title. They're like, we want to bring back the old school title. Oh, y'all want to do that? We're going to take the title off of you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's just it. But just to bring it back to Sasha, I hate the fact that people want to bill her as a crybaby, as someone who's not grateful, as someone who just wants to sit there and complain the whole time. When it's like, how much more does she really have to do to prove? Because literally, I can look at a match between her and Charlotte, and it could be a great match, and all I'll hear is how much Sasha botched the match. Like the whole feud between Sasha and Charlotte, everyone's blaming it being bad on Charlotte, and it's like, no, I mean on Sasha, and it's like, it's not that Sasha botched a bunch. It's the fact that you can tell there was little preparation and there was a bunch of rewrites in this feud. So they never had any proper time to prepare. Mm-hmm. Not to mention, Charlotte is so physically dominant compared to Sasha and Sasha's style of wrestling that they are not a natural fit. They're only a fit when you have them in Extreme Rules matches or False Count Anywhere matches, because then they can just fight angry. If it's a regular match, they don't fit together. Their styles don't fit. That's why Bayley and Sasha were so good, because their styles fit. Charlotte fit more with Becky because Becky, as much as she's smaller, she's a lot more of a grappler, and not so like the only submission that she really has is the armbar. She's much more of a grappler and a wrestler than Sasha Banks is. Sasha Banks is 100% a striker, submission artist, and it doesn't work when Charlotte is the technician and she's supposed to be the powerhouse in the group at the same time. Doesn't make any sense. Like the style fit was never there, and it's like they just put two people together and say figure it out, and then when they figure it out, Vince rewrites it. So it's like, what do you want from them? Like what else can Sasha possibly give you for you to be convinced that Sasha will give her all for this company, and she should be respected as such? Like how much longer do we have to keep doing this? Like, it's ridiculous to me.
I don't know, man. And the crazy part about it is, if anybody wants an actual sample of what Sasha Banks can actually do in the ring with somebody besides four horsewomen, go and look at her match with Ronda Rousey.
Yeah, great match. Made Ronda look so good.
Yes,
so good. And she immediately got the crowd behind her, because it was like, okay, Sasha's back to being the boss.
Yep. Like that was it.
She
that
wrestled
was
like the boss.
Finally got onto the roster. I was
And then
absolutely loving it.
And then what happened? Oh, we're gonna put her back in the tag team. Like,
yeah, immediately because they needed a filler. They needed a filler, and I was like, I can't get with it. I could not get
you
where they
know,
were going. But
you know what I noticed too? Is it just me, or is most of the women's division in WWE really, really green, and that's why there's a bunch of botches? Like Sasha botches because she's always in there with someone that's less experienced than her,
Dana Brooke.
and yeah, like there's always going to be a botch because their timing, they don't have natural timing. And Sasha gets the rap for it because it's like she's the veteran, she's supposed to make everyone look good. Cool, then let her do the match. Don't try to like, oh, you have to lose to get this person over. Let her win the match, do what she's supposed to do, and let the other person get the rub. You can't even do that anymore. Like now you really have to, like Becky won when Becky tried to get back, she had to win for like 4 months straight. They're not going to do that with Sasha unless Sasha turns heel.
Yeah. So here's the interesting part. Where is she going to go? Where is she going to go when she comes back?
Probably Raw.
She needs to get away from Raw.
Yeah. I was thinking the same thing.
She needs
SmackDown.
The thing is, she needs SmackDown, but she can't be with Bayley. And if those two are on the same roster, that's going to automatically be the thing. That's going to be the fallback when they don't have a match.
Unless one of them goes heel.
I'm okay with it. Because the thing is, you can't have her on Raw. She's got problems with Alexa Bliss. That's not going to go away anytime soon. She's got to go on SmackDown. She could go heel. She's got to do the heel. She has to do the heel. The face is not working for her.
The only issue I have with that is I may be the only person in the world that wants this, but I want Bayley as a heel because I think Bayley, of anybody else in this roster, Bayley needs to reset worse than anyone else. Because this was her problem at NXT. She was she was Ricky Steamboat, where it's like Ricky was the ultimate face, but never won. Or at least she needs, like, we need to do this whole. Can we just take the script from NXT, the Tommaso Ciampa Johnny Gargano script, and just put Sasha and Bayley in it and do it the exact same way? That's my question.
Bayley has to be the face.
I mean, because when Johnny and Tommaso broke up and Johnny had his whole like descent into darkness, quote unquote, it was believable. Because like, okay, Johnny Gargano as a heel isn't great, but it isn't bad. Yeah. That's how I feel like Bayley as a heel would be. It's not great. And plus, you would have to change her music because her music is a little too.
It's too happy.
Unicorns and rainbows, and I can't.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
I can never get behind characters like that.
She have a whole repackage. How are you gonna repackage her? With what?
You gotta have something. You gotta have something happen to her.
Well, see, here's the thing. Looking at the SmackDown roster, the only heels you have right now are Charlotte, Liv Morgan, Mandy Rose, and Sonya Deville.
Mm-hmm.
Because we don't know, Mickie James is on there, but we don't know.
Mm-hmm.
She's like the Giant. She'll do face, heel, face, heel, face, heel. So who knows what she is right now? Lana's a manager. She's not wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you have a roster full of faces, pretty much.
If I'm gonna what I would do is this again. I have to pull from the Tommaso Ciampa Johnny Gargano script. Have someone mysteriously be attacked, and have it where all the women just like someone gets attacked in the locker room so much that you write them off. Who that person's gonna be, I don't know. Right? And
Carmella.
You have it. Okay, yeah, that works. Actually, because she's relatively popular and she does, the 5-second dance break, blah, 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 blah. I guess if you're going to do it, then I would say, since she's won the Women's Royal Rumble, you build Carmella a little bit, give her like a little rub where it's like, okay, she could win. And then have her get attacked where you write her off. And then it's the whole like who attacked Carmella thing. And then you find out it was Bayley. And then you have Bayley go into this whole, I have to do things my own way, blah, 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 blah. And Sasha Banks kind of give her like the, yeah, right, you're not really going to do that. And then you have them kind of clash on it, where it's like Sasha kind of finally gives her nod, where it's like, okay, you got a little bad girl in you. And just when you think that, like, they start to take over, you do the flip again. and then you have, Bailey go back to being a face or whatever. Or you can even have you could have Sasha Banks you could have Bailey help Sasha Banks win the title off of whoever has the title after Becky, or even Becky. You could do it that way. But you have to do something to make it believable that Bailey could go heel, because she needs that more than anyone else, because Sasha's such a natural heel that it's at this point she has so much real heat that as soon as she comes back, she's going to get booed.
Yep.
We already know this. Bailey's already getting booed. Use that. Just use it. And just have her, like, I would even mind if Bailey attacked Carmella during a dance break, because I hate those things. It is the Fortnite culture at its finest. Honestly, I wouldn't have minded if Lars attacked R-Truth and then Carmella sitting up there all hurt and Bailey came out and attacked Carmella and walked away. I'd love it. Because she needs to do something for me to, like, okay, I need to pay attention to Bailey. Because her being happy-go-lucky is terrible. It is terrible. I repeat, it's terrible at this point. It's just bad. It's bad.
All right. Final thoughts before we end this? Anything on the shakeup, Sasha?
I love WWE, but I hate them at the same time. I don't know how it is that they managed to do that, but they got that reaction out of me.
WWE is kind of like rock and country to me. I like to listen to it, but I wish I saw more people like me in it.
Nah, my problem is Vince. I agree with Betty, but going further into that one, it's more of the one that annoys me is Vince. Vince thinks he knows what's best for business, and he's stuck in his mindset and will not change away from needing the big, bulky guys to run things out and this and that. Like, no, you can have a Finn Balor run the show. You can have a Daniel Bryan. You can have a Kofi Kingston. God, for God's sakes, look at NJPW, New Japan Pro Wrestling. Those guys are not that big.
Heck, look at Ring of Honor. How long did Jay Lethal hold the Ring of Honor championship? He literally helped build Ring of Honor.
Yeah. And I mean, you don't really need this. He's stuck on this whole concept of you needing a big guy. Like, you really don't.
You
The guy
don't.
can cut a good promo. He could put on a show in the ring. Put on good matches. He can carry the belt. He can build other.
I thought he would have learned from CM Punk.
No, man. He hated CM Punk.
Yeah, but I thought even if you hate somebody, it's like, okay, I hate country music, but I understand its monetary value. I despise country music, but you think I'm not bumping that Billy Ray Little Nas joint every day? I definitely am. It's like you can hate something, but still learn from your mistakes of the past.
No.
Like even when look at Eddie Guerrero, how successful the company was when Eddie Guerrero was champion. The Eddie Guerrero JBL thing was one of the best things I've ever seen. Eddie Guerrero Chris Benoit was one of the best rivalries of all time, even though we can't mention Chris Benoit's name anymore.
Who? I never heard of that guy before.
You know what? We need a throwback like team like the Radicals again.
Yeah,
like a gritty, grimy, like Undisputed Era is still too fluffy. But I think the problem nowadays with getting like really heel factions is that people want it so bad that they cheer those factions.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem with WWE is like, we can't keep making bad guys that you guys love. And it's like, well, you're going to have to, because we're going to start, like, everybody hates faces now. And I think it's just the way that they do faces. All the faces are campy. Mm-hmm. And like, they're archetypes. And it's like, I think the only guy that's a face that anybody really universally likes is Johnny Gargano. And there's still, the jury's out on him.
Now it is.
Like,
now it is.
You know? I can't think of like a guy a guy or girl in the company that's universally liked by everyone that's over with the crowd. I really can't.
As a face,
I should say.
It was Ronda for a little bit.
I think the whole
Get
point
that
of
the
it was
shine on that
Ronda.
burned out real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it wasn't. She didn't go through nothing. It was essentially like Kurt Angle's a rise, but at least Kurt Angle had championships. Like he had tiers that he went out where like, okay, you can understand why he was in the main event. They just shot her straight to the main event, and I'm like, this ain't the octagon, sis. Like you ain't just going out there throwing knees, elbows, toes, and headbutts. And you know, yeah, I will say though, she does have one of the best Botchamania reels I've ever seen. It's hysterical.
Yep. And with that, we'll end the show. Thank you, everybody. The Superstar Shakeup was done, completed.
Yo.
We'll see you guys for the next episode of the 3 Count.
All right, I'll be good.
Peace.